Hey y'all, happy when you're watching this, it'll be Tuesday. Welcome to another What Else Is Going On, aka We Go podcast episode. I'm your girl, your host, Taria. Y'all already know all that. I have a special guest today, y'all. So it is the month of April. Those of y'all that know, my birthday was April the 4th. And you know the saying, April showers bring May flowers. April showers help things grow. And for the month of April, I want to have people on that have been a flower in my garden in this content creation journey. People that have made this journey beautiful for me, who've helped me along the way, who've watered me, whether it be with words, with actions, with support. So my first flower for April is, y'all know, my friend, Kempire, my unofficial manager, Kempire.
Because she don't listen. We still waiting on some of those updates that I gave her. Some of those
coming.
Notes.
They're coming. Don't listen.
And I only give notes when people ask.
But I've told him, don't wait for me to. I'm the type, I will take it.
Yes. Because I normally do not give it unless people are open to it.
Yeah.
Because some of y'all need help, and I'm thinking to myself,
See? And to me, when you have someone who's successful at doing it, why would I not? Plus, on top of that, as a friend, if you know somebody's truly your friend and they're giving you feedback, sometimes their feedback may come from a different perspective if they don't do this. But if they do this and they're your friend, it's like, take a little bit of heed to it. You know what I mean?
People don't take it like that, so that's why I don't say nothing.
I do not get offended at all. Like you said, sometimes Corey is probably going to nod his head when he hears you say, I don't listen. It's not that I don't listen. There's so many things going on in my brain that I have to make it make room for it to land and to do. But it's here. I have all your notes right here.
When are they going to be right here for people to see?
Right.
Well, you did go live.
See?
Okay. I mean, we didn't know it was coming, but you were live. At least our notifications were on.
That's what you know what? Because I'm such a positive person, you know what I took from that? I literally told Corey, I said, did you see what Kempire commented in the chat that he thought YouTube was lying when I went live? I said, that lets me know he has notifications on for my channel, and that makes me feel good. So see how positive I am? That's how I took that. So I'm
glad you did. My notifications aren't necessarily on.
Turn them on.
But I am subscribed. So it came up on my Explorer page.
I'm removing this. I'm removing this piece. I'm cutting it out. And I'm going to make it seem like your notifications are on for only my channel.
Only channel I have notifications are on for me are my own, like the Kempire Radio. When I post something there, just to remind me.
Okay.
And that's because I have a lot of notifications. You know, the benefit of being successful.
Y'all see that? Y'all see this? Y'all hear this? I have a diva. You ain't no diva on this show, and I made him my first flower.
I love what you did there. I was like, wow, she's so clever with her things. I love it.
Thank you.
Okay.
Going to clip that and make sure that plays over and over again. She's so clever. I'm going to add that to a beat. Look, next time I come to New York, I'm going to say, Kempire, why don't you go find us a studio so we can do some beats around you're so clever. Speaking of New York, let's talk just a little bit about the show together.
The sold out show?
The sold out show and record breaking live stream sales as well.
Yes, definitely. We had a gay old time.
My first time at the Green Room 42. I absolutely love this setup. Love the people there. Yeah. So accommodating. I've been other places with you where you've had to kind of get people together, or Danielle has had to kind of make sure things are going. Shout out to Danielle. So this was like, they were just, we got it. Whatever you say.
Very professional.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you this question. People that are successful, like for instance, Corey sings, he sung all over, he plays, he this. To me, I look at it like he doesn't ever get nervous, because I tell you, from the moment, every time you've asked me to host, from the moment you've asked, if I'm asked to perform somewhere, if I'm asked to do poetry, even going live, it's almost like it sits on my shoulder, nervousness. Like I feel like it paralyzes me for like a second, and I have to get myself together. You've been doing this for a while, not just YouTube, Kempire Radio, all the things. Do you get nervous? And if you do, does it go away? Do you use that as fuel? Has it gotten less over the years? Like because you do a lot of live shows. So do you get nervous?
I get nervous a little bit. Usually it's more nervous like, are people going to show up? Are
Okay.
people going to show up? But as we get closer to the date and as the sales become closer to close, meaning like we're selling out, less nervous. I think with this last show in New York, I was a little bit more nervous than usual because I hadn't done a live show in months. And the last New
Okay.
York City show, we had a few shows leading up to it. So it's sort of like a comedian where they work out their set at different places and then they have their big, haha
Right.
kind of situation. So last summer, I had quite a few shows. I mean, we had Philly, we had Atlanta, we had DC, and then we had New York. This one, it was just New York.
Right.
And so there was a little bit of nervousness, not to the point where it was like crippling. So there
Okay.
was just a little bit of nervousness. And it's probably more so when it comes to New York because it's the hometown, but also because we don't have as much time in the other cities where I can kind of really be more relaxed. I have to be a little bit more on point with like I need to go from this point to that point
Okay.
and everything else. So a little bit of nervousness, not crippling. And maybe if I was opening for someone else, which I've done before, I would be a little bit nervous, but for the most part, unless I'm singing, because I have a career in singing from years ago.
Okay.
Singing probably would make me more nervous just because you have to make sure you're hitting the notes.
That's because when you're talking and you mess up, you can kind of make a joke and recover from that.
hmm hmm
Wow.
And
Okay.
then when you're screaming, you don't have to scream on key.
You know what? You're right. You're right. Anytime I've had to sing with Corey at a wedding or somewhere, I said, I don't see
Mm,
how you do it. Even like my kids, like, y'all don't get nervous. Like for me, it's like, but also I think there's a part of me that feels like, do I want it crippling where my back leg is shaking?
mm,
No. However, there is a part of me that it's a little bit like, hey, you keep this feeling to make sure you remember, like, don't let it get to your
mm,
head. It ain't all about you, girl. Like, so
mm,
don't let it always get to your head because when you have people telling you you're good, you're great, or this is great, or this is this, if you're not careful, you could start being like, I got this. And it's like, no, it's not just about you, girl. Like, you know what I
yeah,
mean? So, and it's
yeah,
keeping the community and all of that. I will say, your subscribers are fine. I have told them this over and over again, seeing them in person. They're beautiful. I know because
yeah.
I'm one. So clearly. Uh,
You're very full of yourself.
yes. And so I'm an Aries, and so supportive and so welcoming,
Yes.
So because opening up for somebody, in my mind, they're paying to see you. So when I go to a comedy show, I want to see the main event. But
Mm,
then when I get to enjoy the openers, that's a bonus too. So
yeah.
where would your dream show be if they said someone, your manager came to you and said, Kempire, no expenses spared, wherever you want to go, it shall be. Where is your dream place to host and why? Or I mean, to have a show and why?
Oh, that's a good question. Um, I don't know if there's a specific place, but I was already thinking like internationally, and I
Okay.
get it. US, you hold me down. You are the bulk of our subscribers, but there was something really special about doing a show in London, not last year, but the year before, December of 2024, that we
Okay.
did. That was really nice, and I would love to do that again. I would love to go to South Africa and do a show. And it's not because we have massive numbers there. It's nice to connect with people that aren't just necessarily here. And it was also nice at the London show. We had quite a few people from the States that flew to be a part of the London show.
Wow. That's,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, but my dream is to, we've had really great venues where we have 300 people and that kind of thing. But my goal would be to sell out like a theater kind of
Oh,
thing.
okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
So that for me, it's more so about the size than a particular city. Because again, I would love to tour again and go to multiple cities. I'd like to go to Texas. I'd like to go back to
Okay.
California. I'd like to do the Midwest. I would love to do, Florida and Atlanta again and DC again. DC always shows up and shows out. I would love to go to Canada and do a show. So my
Oh,
thing is
yeah.
more so about doing larger crowds
Okay.
and to do an actual tour where someone else is planning it and I just show up with the creativity.
With and the fits.
And the fits.
And the fits. Yes. Yes. Your fit was very nice. Very
Thank
nice.
you.
Y'all, I
Thank you.
tried to get him to wear his chest out. He was like, I'm wearing a shirt. I was like, all right. Well.
Everyone was complimenting you on your little dress that you had on.
I was trying to give it to y'all. I was like, this gym work, listen, is going in this dress. Speaking of, so the dress was from Fashion Nova. So this is not even just for women, men too. You know, different places you shop, different sizing, right?
Yeah.
Fashion Nova, know my sizing. I thought, got a couple pieces from there. So for my birthday, I said, I wanted something pretty. My aunt says every woman should have pretty things. And there's certain things that you either wait to use or wait to wear. So I had been seeing this sparkly dress on the Fashion Nova site for about a year. And it was still there. And I said, I want it, even if I don't wear it on my birthday. I know me and Corey or me and a girlfriend will go somewhere later, but I even just take pictures in it, right? So I did pay attention to the reviews and it said, go up a size. Okay. In my mind, the go up a size was for room and for length. It was for length. I get the dress. For those of you that know, if you're smaller at the top and got a booty at the bottom, sometimes dresses, but I figured I could work around it. When I got that dress, I'm going to just say I could go to my woman's the appointment that women have yearly for their body parts down below. I could go and stand up and they could do the exam and me not have to lay down because that's where the dress stopped.
What?
I said, this is crazy. Mind you, looking at the models on the thing, because, you know, they have models of all sizes, so you get to see. It was short. And then I went back and read the description, and it said mini giraffe. I promise you. And then I had my oldest daughter here. You know, my oldest daughter is a height woman. Mom, you better wear that dress. And what, not bend over? Not walk?
Oh, so it was like a freak-up dress.
It stopped at the end of my butt cheeks. Right there. But what pissed me off?
But wait, did you not get the right size?
No, it's just a mini dress. So because they all set, because if I go even bigger, it's going to be too big in the bodice. It was already too big in the boob. So I would have had to go, and I had already planned, I'm going to go get the boob part taken in. I love the way it fit my body and my hips. But I'm telling you, I could have the doctor could have examined me from standing in the room. I wouldn't have had to lay. I said, and here she is. But Mom, you should wear it with some heels. I said, so they can see my ovaries, my cervix and everything. And I'm not one, I don't clothes shame people. I'm very free, liberal, whatever, when it comes to that. Even for myself, but there was no way. And Corey was like, man, it looks nice on your body. It is a little short. He was like, you can wear it. I absolutely couldn't.
Couldn't you wear it with like tights?
So if it was a different type of dress, but because it was sequined and I'm going to send you a picture. Sequined and sparkly.
Insert a picture somewhere.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There is no tight that would match this dress. None. There's no tight that you could wear this with. I'm going to send you a picture. Then a part of me was like, just take a picture in it to just post it. And I was like, I absolutely cannot.
That's true. Oh.
I could do the side profile, but even then somebody might get a sneak peek of a cheek and then I will have to charge. Because it was so, and the reviews were saying it was short, but I was like, oh, normally when you go up a size, the dress is longer, but it just sucks because I love the way it fit my waist, my body, everything. And then it was like, and then it stops. And so my mom is so funny. So my daughter and my mom get here. I had told them both about the dress. So when they pulled up, I hurried up and put it on. So when they opened the door, I was standing there like with the dress, like popping. So my daughter's like, yes, mom, it fits perfectly. Here's my mom. No, it doesn't. You know, it does not. Because, because of the shortness. She was like, Tari, are you even able to walk in it? Yeah, I could walk in it. But then when you walk, sometimes it rises up even further. So and even with the shortness, no matter how short or tight something is, you should always feel comfortable because people can look at you and see when you're uncomfortable in something. So it wouldn't have worked anyway. Titties almost coming out of the top. Like I said, it was too big. I said, I don't think this is just not my dress. I just have to accept this is just not my dress.
So you're going to send it back?
I'm going to send it back. And get something else pretty.
Yeah.
But it was like, I wanted it for like a year, but I'm like, oh, well, because like I said, if I were to go up bigger, the length would only probably be about this much longer, and I would have to get so much taken in, it wouldn't even be worth it.
And it's probably expensive to get it taken in.
Yes.
And then it's like, what was the point of paying Fashion Nova prices?
For now, the dress is $100 and some when I just wanted to whatever. So yeah, but I forgot why I told you that. But anyway.
Oh yeah. How did we get there?
How did we get there? So, you and I, when we talk, of course, we don't just talk about this stuff. We talk about everything. We talk about what's going on in the state of the world, what's going on, with the politics of it all. Y'all
Mm,
watching, y'all and listening, y'all know that I have said a lot of times I don't always talk about it because it makes me just
angry.
rage and angry. Yes. But we do like to talk about we have what's called a pop of politics. So Kempire and I are going to get into some of that because we have some very real conversations and some very necessary
Mm,
conversations. And I just feel like what is going on right now. Do you ever like, I feel like it's surprising, but not surprising because I'm never surprised by by the things that people who don't look like me, the things that they do. Like, even
mm,
like, it never surprises me.
yeah.
Disappoints sometimes, never surprising. Like, for instance, I just long time person I know in real life doesn't look like me. I'll just say that.
White.
Yes. And I thought they copied and pasted something by accident. I read their comments and it was true. And it was copy and paste about the current administration. You may see a racist, but I see someone who wants to make our country safe. You may see, it was, and I said, this can't be. I said, oh, I don't think she realizes she posted this. I don't think she realizes. I
You
think
try to
she
make
just,
excuses.
and then when I got in those comments,
She
and
was
I'm
fighting for her
talking
life.
over 20 years, and I was like, yeah, no, no.
Wow. And you
Mm-hmm.
never saw signs of that before?
Mm-mm.
Wow.
That's the scary part.
Mm,
Because people can be, like, so, and I said, I'm never surprised by things that they do, but you can be disappointed. And I just, it was one of those things where you're like, it's not even that you say, I voted for this administration. We can have a different conversation about that. But
mhm.
it was you see racism. I see him making the country better. You see him starting a war. I see patriotism. This is literally what this
Mm,
post is saying.
mm.
That's something totally different than you just voted for this administration.
I wonder how she would feel because I always go back to, I mean, there's so many examples of Donald Trump's racism even before he was president. Goes all
Yes.
the way back to housing discrimination.
Yes.
But I wonder how she feels about the video that he posted of President Barack Obama and Michelle Obama as monkeys.
That is,
Because that's recent. So
yes.
instead of going all the way back, let's just go to recent history. Like how do you feel about that? How do you justify that as not as racism?
Right. So it was very, whew. And then I wanted to screenshot it and send it around to our common folks. And I had to take a beat because I was like, in my feeling one thing I have learned about me, and I'm sure you know about these fire signs, I
Mm,
had to take a minute because I'm
mm,
as angry as I can get. I also can forgive easily, but sometimes in my
mm.
anger, I can do something where the next person, like, I can snap back from something really fast, an argument, as long as we talk about it. Everybody's
Yeah.
not like that. So I had to learn that and realize just because you can get angry and explosive and then come back and be fine, but everybody's not like that.
Hmm.
You need to take a beat. But I just, I'm thinking about it now and just thinking about that person is still like, wow.
So you never confronted that person.
I just saw it yesterday.
Oh, damn, this is breaking news.
Uh-huh.
Mm.
Yeah.
And was this person fighting for their lives in the comment section, replying to people?
No, the people that look like them were like, he's the greatest president we've had, 100%. I agree with this. One person said, "Are you effing kidding me?" And they were like, "I always see you." And the thing is, I've never seen them post about him before, so it made me
Mm.
almost want to go back and look. But I did it for my own sanity. But
Yeah.
when she said, "You don't have to agree with me. This is how I feel. You don't have to follow my page. I see him as da da da," and it was like,
Well, feelings aren't facts.
exactly,
Just,
exactly.
just, just saying. And
And
the
if you,
facts are damning. The facts are damning.
speaking of, so I'm sure you saw the post, which is another thing about when they talk about you see him as a patriot. I
Mm.
always get into the Christian folks that follow him and how
Mm.
he's a man of God, he's this. And I'm going to read
Not
what
the
he
man of God.
posted. Did you this what this man of God posted? Decided to post on Easter
On
Sunday.
Easter. Mm.
There will be nothing like, wait, am I missing something? Wait, I just want to make sure I get the full thing.
And this is what he posted on Truth Social,
Oh,
his platform.
there will be nothing like it. Open the effing straight, you crazy bat. This is what he said to Iran. I feel like I'm missing a part of it, but there will be nothing like it. Open the effing straight, you crazy bastards, or you'll be living in hell. Just
Mm.
watch. Praise be to Allah, which we know that's a shot at them. President Donald J. Trump.
So making fun of the Islamophobia in that tweet as well, or
Yes.
post.
Oh, that's what I missed. The part I missed, he's talking about it's going to be he's letting them know that Tuesday is going to be the day. Hold on. I want to make sure I get
Mm.
all of it for those of you that haven't. He said Tuesday will be power plant day and
Yeah.
bridge day, all wrapped up in one in Iran. Open the effing straight, you crazy bastards, or you'll be living in hell. And then in all caps, just watch. Praise be to Allah, President Donald J. Trump.
Mm-mm-mm-mm. I mean, I'm dumbfounded at the people that still defend him, but there are people that still defend him because I feel like he's not just going against Democrats or independents that don't agree with him, or other Republicans that don't agree with him. I feel like he's going against the interests of every single American because Americans have said that they do not want to be in war. They do not want to send their children to war. There's a reason why presidents have tried to avoid a confrontation with Iran for so long. And the crazy thing is, and I think this is the age of Aquarius, I know some people don't understand what any of that is when they pull back this curtain where there you do start to see a change in administrations and political standards and things like that. And that's what we're seeing right now. That's the only thing that's giving me hope is that I know that at some particular point, balance will be restored to
Yes.
every part of the world. However, I don't understand how people are able to justify a president that is a president just for the people that will agree with him. Because the minute you stop agreeing with Donald Trump, you are now his enemy. Marjorie Taylor Greene, Candace Owens, like all these people that were once MAGA and now are turning on him, now they are the enemy. And he is not a president for every white person that feels like they've been disenfranchised. He's a president for himself. He's a president for other billionaires. And so if you're not a billionaire, I can't even say millionaire. If you are not a president for that, if you're not a person in that level, he is not a president for you. And you're being fed propaganda, the same narrative, which goes all the way back to not just to him, but other presidents, other Republican and Democratic politicians that have been feeding Americans propaganda, saying that this particular country is not giving you the full story in the news. You don't want a country like that. However, that is the country we are in, where we are being told that we are winning a war that we are not winning. That the economy was going to be different under Donald J. Trump. It is not. It is much worse. And you're not going to see the depth of how bad that is until years from now. And it'll be probably a Democratic president, and they'll blame that Democratic president. That's not how economics works.
You saying that, I often forget that sometimes, that like what we're seeing now, you think that the price isn't all that now, but like you said, the effects may not, it may not truly hit until whenever. I'm looking at these gas prices. I drive for rideshare.
Yeah.
Even they're trying to say, hey, sign up for this app and we'll give you 15% back with gas
Wow.
or 20%. Like they're trying to alleviate some of, but sometimes it's just still not enough. And in my mind, I'm thinking, now it's almost like now you're going to have to pay if that's what you do. Like, fortunately for me, my personal car takes premium gas. I don't drive that anymore. Thank God. I drive
Yeah.
a car that's a hybrid, so it's electric, and so it does pretty good on gas. But not everybody has that
Can
option.
afford to do that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I it just I am 49 and I don't ever remember, even when President Obama was president and the racism and all that, that we see, and us being Black, we're not, none of this is shocking to us, right? But just
No.
for it to be so blatant, so open, so people are so free There's a video of a woman, a guy's taking it in his car. They're riding down the highway, and she gets up next to his car, and she must drive around with this car, and with this like cardboard little cutout thing, and she puts it in her window, and it says, "Where are your papers?" Because he was Mexican. So you're
Wow.
driving up highways, driving next to people putting this sign in your window, "Where are your papers?" Like it's just literally in walking distance from Corey's mom's house. So if any of you are listening that are from South Jersey, there's a town called Bridgeton, New Jersey. That's where Corey, once his dad got out of the service from Mississippi, they moved there. I'm scrolling social media and I see a woman sitting in her car. She's Mexican and her passenger side window is broke. And you see ice like this. She used to speak up about basically like a whistleblower warning people in the area because that area is a lot of Mexican and black people in that area. So she would tell them, "Hey, ICE is here, ICE is there, be careful." Well, she started getting people riding by her home, threatening her. Telling her, "ICE doesn't like that you're doing this. If you want your family to be safe, you better stop." She is a citizen. Her husband has been working on his citizenship. Papers are turned in, everything. They're just waiting for years. He had to go to court for something. And it gave me chills because I've been to this courthouse before. Literally, you can walk from Corey's mom's house and you see they go into court. They must have been following her. They come out. They are sitting at the red light in front of the building. 7 or 8 ICE vehicles pull up and surround them. Her lawyer is behind her.
Wow.
7 or 8. Her lawyer is at the light behind her. They get out and they're telling her, so they're blocking. So even if the light turned green, you can't go. And they're telling the husband, "Get out of the car." And she's like, "No, he's not getting out unless you show me a warrant. You need to show me a warrant because that's the law, right?" They break her passenger window, unlock the door, and drag him out. And her lawyer's car has ended up damaged too. Now they've taken him and they don't know where he is.
Wow. And that's just one of many, many heartbreaking stories that don't get told because of our media being very controlled now and being bought out.
That's another thing I see people saying, the whole, Paramount buying Tyler Perry's BET, and they're trying to put this spin on it like, "Oh, that means these black shows will be presented to more audiences." That is not what that means.
Not at all.
It's
No.
it's
They're trying to get a lot done while this man is still in power because a lot of this stuff can't be undone that quickly.
right. Okay, so once it's
A
done,
lot of these mergers and things like that, I mean, we have laws against things like that unless the president okays them.
wow. That is speaking of trying to get things done and undone. We saw what he's done with DEI, which is so fun, and affirmative action, which is so funny to me because for people that don't know, the group of people that benefited the most from DEI was white women. And it literally, I was reading different articles and they're pretty much all saying white women have made significant gains in higher education and the workforce, including corporate leadership positions. They have often experienced greater advancements than people of color, which leads me to, I don't know if you saw this. There's an anti-affirmative action group suing the Congressional Black Caucus Foundation because of the scholarships that they offer for black students. And they're saying that they are illegally discriminating based on race. They're discriminating against white people. So they are suing the Congressional Black Caucus. Awarding educational opportunities to some young constituents, but not others, based on the color of their skin is neither conscientious nor legal, the American Alliance for Equal Rights said in the lawsuit filed in federal court in Washington, D.C. So I wonder, after this, are they going to go after all women scholarships?
Probably.
Scholarships to but it's just crazy.
Here's the great thing about this country at the same time, though, because we're seeing this in real time. You can sue anyone. You can push anything forward as the president is doing. However, when it comes down to it, no matter how he has put some of these Supreme Court justices in that role, they still have to follow the law.
Yes.
In a lot of ways. And I know some of the stuff that they've passed through, you're like, well, damn. But there are also a lot of things like him coming against James Comey, him coming against Letitia James here in New York City. A lot of those things are being thrown out because there just really is no justification. And there's a lot of just stupid legal moves that he's not that bright. And he's telling people, do this, off the strength of, like, that's my enemy.
Yes.
Here's the thing that people forget. No matter how you feel about Kamala Harris, she would have been a president for all of America, not just a president for Democrats. Yeah. She would have been a president for everyone. She never at any particular point threatened to come after her enemies. And I think that's such an important thing to note, is that you want someone that's going to represent everyone, not just your political views. Because at one particular point, there might be something that the person you've put in place you don't agree with. So you want someone that's more even keeled than what we're getting right now. And again, like I said before, you're voting for someone that really doesn't consider you, because the majority of Americans are still fighting to put dinner on the table, to buy a home, to do certain things, and you can't even do that. So this president that you voted for is actually voting against your interests, which you knew back in 2016, and you voted for him anyway again.
Come on and say it. We saw in my thing, what we saw in 2016. We may not have seen all of it, right? But at the very least, by 2020, we knew exactly who we were dealing with. And because the world, I truly believe, was not ready for a woman, let alone a Black woman, now here we are. Because the world was not ready for, and it reminds me almost of what was happening with Jasmine Crockett. Because when I think of even women voting against Kamala and the internalized misogyny, I was
internalized and fed to everyone for hundreds of years. They know why. I've said this even before I had a platform. I've been saying this for years. We will see a change in the world on the shoulders of a woman. And they're so afraid of that because they know the matriarchy will be one that of fairness. So they're really scared of that because they don't want it to be fair.
No, even other women. When I was watching people come out of when it was voting time for Jasmine, and I don't know what they thought they were doing, but it actually angered me to see women come out and say, I really wanted to vote for Jasmine, but I just want us to win, so I voted the other way. And I said, so whatever margin Jasmine lost by, if all of those people thought that, look where we are.
And Jasmine pulled out all kinds of record breaking numbers just running in that primary. Every time I think about the Jasmine Crockett element, it just reminds me that I feel like Matt Rogers and Bowen Yang were bought because they never really talk about politics. Not that I listen to their podcast anyway, but they rarely ever talk about politics there. And to say it's one thing to say you don't agree with her, but it's another thing to say that do not donate to her campaign because you don't believe that she could win. And it came out of nowhere. And every time I just saw Bowen Yang, I was watching Wicked for Good over the weekend, and they have him introduce something, and I just get this like feeling from him because you saw when Matt Rogers put out that ChatGPT apology, he just reposted it. I forgot what he said, but it was sort of like, here, take it. I was like, oh, I will never forget Matt Rogers or Bowen Yang and how they handled that situation. They are not allies.
It's funny that you say you were watching Wicked for You, and when he came on, you did this because right before we recorded, about an hour or so before I watched Atlanta, I let it play again on my phone while I was around the house doing stuff, getting ready for our recording. And I was in the kitchen, but my phone was in the living room, and his voice came on announcing the streaming Wicked Forever. And I was like, oh, and as much as I love, and listen, I know that there's a part of me that knows there are certain things that people do in the business, whether you may have personal feelings. Sometimes you do have to set them aside, swallow a little bit, and you got to do what you got to do for your career. But I'm not going to lie. I'm just going to say it. And y'all know I love her down. But when I saw Candace going over there, kikiing with them, it just gave me a feeling.
And not bringing up the Jasmine of it all. And I know Candace is very well versed and educated. She knew about that situation.
Yes.
I thought the same thing. I was like, but I also get because she's in the Bravo world. Bravo because they oversee that situation, whatever it's called, La Culturista,
Yes.
that podcast,
Yes.
and that the award show that no one watched. They oversee that, so they are pushing their talent in that
Yes.
direction. And there is something coming with Candace and Bravo. So I've already put that out there on
Yes.
my podcast.
You go
So
on
there's
over
something
to
coming.
it just did something. It just really did
My thing
something
is,
to
though,
me.
if Candace was going to be on there, I thought of all people that she would have had the conversation with.
Same, because
I feel
think,
like she could have had the conversation with them.
and maybe they could have heard her because you're sitting in front of a Black woman, and they could have heard. And I just, it made me feel like they think that
it's all clear.
It's all clear. And I said,
everything's good. Not over here.
Not over. The same thing for me too. I said that not even just the optics, but we know what you were saying, and for you not to know a thing about the other candidate was. I'm not saying vote for Jasmine because she's Black. I mean, of course, I'm supporting all Black people, especially Black women, right? But let's be real. You need to look at the candidates and know. Different. No,
but to tell people not to donate to her campaign.
Donate.
It's not even about voting for
That's
Jasmine.
True.
But don't donate. So basically, cut her off before she can even try.
Don't give her a running chance. Exactly. It's like
what?
Oh wow. So once again, which goes back to the notion of Black people have to work. Not even the notion, the true theory. Black people have to work that much harder than white folks to get certain places. And I was talking to my daughter yesterday, my oldest, about it, and we were getting in to this conversation, and I said, what non-Black people don't understand is this. They go into their jobs every day and see, I see a Black person sitting right next to me, not knowing that Black person could be getting paid less, not knowing that Black person can walk into a store in 2026 and get racially profiled. And I was trying to give her the example. I said, she sings. I said, so when you have a microphone and you have it set to reverb, you make the initial sound. People may not hear your initial sound, but they hear the echo. And I said, that is slavery. The initial sound was our ancestors, but there's still a reverb that we're feeling right now in 2026. And it angers me when I hear non-Black people say slavery's over. What are you talking about? When we have all these examples, look at the leak. What was the major motion picture just some years ago with the leak? They were talking about Kevin Hart and 12 Years a Slave and President Obama. Oh, I bet you that's his favorite movie. So we see how these studios, I'm saying Black people can't make money internationally. So these are how these
I mean, literally, we just saw I forgot her name. Howard, she works in Hollywood. She has a Black rom-com that she wants to put out there. Unfortunately, executives are telling her we have to wait and see how Halle Bailey's movie Yumi and Tuscany does before they will greenlight any other movie that might be similar. And mind you, this woman has nothing to do with Yumi and Tuscany, but that is going to be dependent on whether or not her movie gets greenlit. So that has to be successful. So for those that don't know, it comes out this Friday.
Okay.
And it looks cute though.
It does.
I want to go with Tuscany.
It does look very cute. It does. And I'm not a movie person. My family is. I'm not, but that makes me want to buy a ticket just to support. So it's like it just makes me so angry. And I don't know that I could sit in front of two men that look nothing like me, but benefit from listeners who look like me as well.
Yep.
And just Kiki.
I mean, the real apology in that situation would have been having Jasmine Crockett on there. Boom. That would have been an entertaining conversation because she's brilliant. She's very, very smart, and she's very, very passionate. That would have been the conversation. But when I did see Candace on there, and look, I don't want to put the weight of the world on a Black woman.
Same.
However, I feel like when I saw that, I said, well, I'm sure she's going to bring up what they said, because especially because she is so well versed on political topics. So I know she saw that situation, but I also understand this. Working in the world of entertainment, you also are trying to play the game. She just signed her deal with CAA. As I said before, there's something in the works coming with her in Bravo. So I get it. Okay,
that is what Black people understand, that we've had to do that. And I remember even at a younger age working around white folks and wanting opportunities, there's certain things that we've had to do. So that's why it's always interesting to me when, say, like a something racist happens in the world of Bravo or something, and white folks can be very quick to say, well, let's cancel them because it's racism, when it's like, it may not hit us as hard because this is the world that we live in. So I had a person ask me one time, we were talking about the old Roni, and they were very upset at the thought of Ramona ever coming back. And I said, do I want her back? No. I said, am I expending my energy on protesting for her not to come back? No, because she's one of many. And I knew who she was watching her in the beginning. So, and I would tell them what I don't like is, if you as a non-black or non-brown person are noticing something, don't come rattle our chains to get us to speak up. You speak up. Because we've been through this. So, and keep your same energy. I mean, we're seeing now, and I know you said that you were going back and watching with Summer House with Amanda, Sierra, and West. What are your thoughts? What episode are you on? Give it all to me.
I think I'm on episode 7.
Okay.
Yeah, and I am going to talk about this season, and I get it. Shout out to the Summer House fans, because y'all are deep, especially on X. They be like, this is why you have to watch from the beginning. This is why you need to watch season 8. Or because I made a comment about Jesse. Like, I get it. Jesse probably has been problematic, and I'm watching this season. But I also feel like, in comparison, Jesse versus Wes, I see something more authentic in Jesse than I see in West. I could tell the type of guy that West is. With Jesse, I actually think that Jesse has genuine feelings for Sierra. Does that make him a perfect fit for Sierra? No, but I think Sierra needs to take some time to do some self-discovery and self-assessment, because she was reconsidering. Because I remember what went down between her and West a couple of seasons ago. So the fact that she was even reconsidering and having feelings for him, I was like, oh, no. Like, she needs to spend some time, not with Michael B. Jordan, unless it's just going to be some fun time. But spending some time to kind of figure out, like, why the hell was I even considering West again?
And recognizing patterns, because she went through it with Austin from Southern Charm.
Another mediocre, you know what?
Yeah. Like,
if anything, he looked worse than West.
Oh, so much worse. And I think it's interesting.
And he called her Jezebel.
Excuse, exactly. And that was over.
And he's from the South.
I'm sorry. No, I'm not sorry, but Austin wasn't taking you home as a fiance or as a wife, and neither was West. He may have taken you home to meet
off camera.
To meet his parents, but he was not. And what really, the funny thing about when I'm looking at it, like, what is his appeal, like, to the audience? And I said, I wonder if the roles were reversed. You know, West has a podcast with his best friend, who they call.
No, I don't know that. No, I did hear about it, but I don't listen.
He has a podcast with his best friend. Growing up, I think they knew each other growing up. She's in the WNBA, and they call her MAGA Barbie because of her beliefs. So I said, wouldn't that be interesting if Sierra had a podcast with someone from MAGA? They wouldn't give her the same grace or the same. Well, because West has been on TikTok saying, I love it when I lose MAGA followers. So he's saying all this stuff about MAGA to get these women. Oh, yes, we love you, white man West. But
he's very performative.
Come on.
He's very performative. Because I even go back to when they first had the big blow up, him and Sierra, and the cast were calling him out for what he was saying in the group text about, oh my God, guys, we're having such an amazing season. And they were so turned off by it because they were sensing the thirst from him. So I feel like he is performative. He will do whatever whatever is going to please whoever's in front of him.
Yes.
And I'm seeing that in season 10, because why are you getting upset about Jesse saying, would you be upset if I make out with Sierra, when based off what they're saying, you were already starting your affair with Amanda around this time? So are you just doing this for the cameras? Seems like it, because you don't really claim her when the cameras aren't there.
Did you see the scene? You probably have if you're on episode 7, where they were playing Truth or Dare. Did you see that yet? They're playing Truth or Dare, and Amanda has to kiss her own husband, Kyle. And as soon as I can't. If you haven't seen it, you're gonna pick it up. As soon as Amanda kisses Kyle, Wes looks and pulls his chair close to Sierra and starts putting his hands on her. This is from a woman that you were scared of before. Now all of a sudden Amanda kisses her husband Kyle. He pulls his chair close to Sierra, and even Sierra's like, and Amanda looks him dead in his face and is like, you could literally. I showed.
Well, did you hear? Look, did you look? Look, did you hear the tea that Sierra and Wes possibly hooked up just a few months ago, back in February? And mind you, this affair has probably been going on since June of 2025. So he just cheating on all of y'all?
All of like, and the fact that like my mom, which goes to show again, you didn't try to get her on camera. You waited till off camera, and you played a victim. Listen, I have made this very clear. There's certain, when I watch these shows, certain characters my body rejects right away. And normally you don't come back from that. Sutton.
Not reject.
Yeah.
Oh,
like,
damn, Sutton.
Sutton, I will never take my foot off of her vodka-ridden neck ever. So, listen, she brushes her teeth with Cabernet and gargles with vodka, I'm sure. That's how much I can't stand. But her, Ashley Darby, y'all, some of y'all that have been with me since the beginning know. But then there are people that you, at first, when you see them on the show, you're like, I don't really care for them. But then you're like, oh, I've turned around on them. That's me with Sierra. She was not by far one of my favorite ones. There were things that I saw that I didn't like, but I never disliked her. But it wasn't until, I forget what season it was, where another Black woman came on the show named Maya. Maya was struggling being in that house. They kept getting her name wrong. They couldn't get Maya right. They were calling her. Couldn't get Maya. And her and Sierra were on the beach. And Maya was expressing to her, and black girl to black girl, Sierra got it and said, oh, we're going to have a conversation with the house. And she brought the house together and said, let's talk about this. And I remember thinking, oh my, like just that quick, Sierra turned a corner for me. And then I realized, well, the reason you've never seen her like that is because she's been with a bunch of white people. So you wouldn't have seen that side of her.
Be an ally. What you're seeing this season, though, I love seeing the three Black people coming together, and Kiki and having, I like KJ.
Yes.
I like, oh, damn.
Mia.
Thank you. I knew it started with an M. I was like, wait, what's her name again? Well, why have I feel like I've seen her before? Has
Same.
She okay, so I'm not crazy. What has she been on?
She's
been on something.
Either we feel like we haven't seen. Okay, this is going to be crazy. You used to watch Summer House, right? Mm-hmm. Do you remember Lindsay's friend Danielle?
Yes.
She kind of reminds me of Danielle and looks just a little bit darker with the hair, with the smile.
I mean, I see what you're saying, but that's not it. Because I knew who Danielle was, so I wasn't. Right. I was like, no, I know that's not Danielle. I don't know. I just feel like I've seen her somewhere before.
I felt the same way. I thought maybe it was because she reminds me of Danielle, but she definitely looks familiar. She's not an unfamiliar.
But this
person.
is her first season on Summer House.
Yeah.
I was like, really? She looks familiar.
That's one of the greatest things about being Black is sometimes you don't even have to know, but you have a bond. Like when KJ recently posted, I always love my big sisters, because that's how it feels, especially when it's just like, it's just us. And for those of you that aren't Black, that don't get, because I had somebody slide into my inbox one time because I talked about HBCUs and how much I loved them. Right. And I think that might be my only regret. Like when I went away to college, I do wish that I had went to an HBCU. Just, I wanted to, but I didn't end up going. Somebody said, I can't believe you, of all people, I listened to you and you're for separation. I said, do you have an issue with Brown College, the all women college? I said, do you have an issue with all these other women's colleges where women say they feel safe being around people that look like them? And then she got it. I said, your issue was because the word Black was in front of it. I said, so people don't have an issue when women say, throw like a girl, girls are smarter than men, girls do it better, we want an all women's whatever. But when the word Black is put in front of it and you feel excluded because you're used to being a part of everything, then you have a problem. Then she got it. So for those of you that don't understand that they're Black, they're connected. That's like walking into a boardroom full of men and you see the other woman in the room and you're like, hopefully she's an ally, and you're like, I got you. Because I can't stand that. I can't stand when, just because you don't identify immediately, it's wrong. Because I've seen that too, those conversations. I
But
love,
I just wish people would understand that there was a reason why these universities were created.
come on.
Black people were
That,
not able to
that's what
be
I,
educated.
come on.
They were told no, we're not. You're not allowed. So
I
that's
explained
the
that too.
history behind it.
Yep.
That's the only reason why they exist. They wouldn't need to exist if they weren't being excluded already.
Come on. And that
Women
right
as well, like these women colleges. That's where it came from because
right.
they were being excluded.
I said, so what a privilege to be able to say, oh, I know that y'all were left out before, but I don't like also now that you created your own thing
Mm, mm.
and that, you don't want. So it's crazy.
Thank God they still exist because apparently it's still very much needed.
And let me tell you, Sky has always been heavily into the things going on in this world and being a voice for Black folks and all. She's majoring in political science. She was going to go into African American studies because there was a time frame when she wanted to teach Black history. She said she feels like
Mm,
not enough of us know our own history.
mm.
But then she ended up going to political science and she thought about minoring in Black history, but they're cutting that program from Syracuse
Wow.
after Trump came in. Yep, they're cutting that program.
Because somehow they don't see the illegal nature of withdrawing federal funds. And now you're starting to see some lawsuits for it.
Yes.
Withdrawing federal funds because people do not want to follow your particular racist rules. How's that
Mhm.
legal?
How is that legal? And what about the students who are in their third year? They're
Mm,
on scholarship, Pell Grants. I went to
mm,
school when I went to Penn State. I had a Pell Grant. I got a Pell Grant. As a matter of fact, I think little Corey was able. I think he's the only one, but he was able, as for my kids, was able to get a Pell Grant. And now
mm,
it's like, and you're not talking $1 million. Grateful
mm.
for the amount,
No.
but
Yeah, yeah.
just
It's like the $5,000 that they gave those ladies
come
on
on,
Married to Medicine for
come on.
medical school.
Yes, exactly. In this big old hole of what's due. It's like, okay, it's whatever. And then the whole, have you seen the, I have literally seen people trying to make excuses for Amanda. I saw a post, I wish I screenshot it, that said, hear me out. How about Wes took advantage of Amanda's mental state because of the things she was
Mm.
going through with Kyle?
It's a very interesting, I have a psychology degree. It's very interesting how this is being handled versus how the scandal. I'm not saying it's exactly the same thing, but
Hmm.
it is a scandal. It's so interesting how people are giving grace to Amanda. And I'm not saying that, we do not believe in cyberbullying, period.
I agree.
But I feel like a lot of people are willing to make more excuses for Amanda, especially when there's a Black woman involved.
Hmm. I agree.
Just interesting. Here's the thing. I think people think when Black people talk about these things that that we use it as an excuse. Please understand, Black people thrive despite
Come on.
any of what is put against them.
Come
So
on.
everything that's happening in this country, I know that there are a lot of people of other races that are like, oh my God, what's happening to this country? Black people are still going to thrive. We have overcome a lot in
Hmm.
life,
Hmm.
including slavery, which still has its ramifications. Black people will always thrive.
Hmm.
So don't worry
Regardless.
for us, Argentina.
Yes. Yes. And just because we're talking about it, it's more so, it's like bringing it to y'all's attention. We
Hmm.
already knew this. So
Hmm.
what I would love to hear from Sierra, she shared how hard it is for her to open up, which
Hmm.
she had that conversation with West. She
Hmm.
doesn't just want men to experience her, when
Yeah.
that also goes back to how white men viewed Black women slaves as
Hmm.
exotic, as something to
Hmm.
be experienced.
Hmm.
They've always wanted us. Let's be very clear. I said on this platform that I had a guy in 12th grade. I almost burned my English class down. No, because this
Oh.
fat, sweaty redneck told
Mm.
me that I would F you, Taria, but I wouldn't take you home. Said this in my English
Mm.
class. So when I responded back, how Taria responded back then, I got in trouble and was put out of the class. Like my teacher, saw nothing wrong with what he did.
Mm.
So
Mm-mm.
white men have always desired us, but they've always seen us as an exotic thing. So when
Mm.
Sierra says all of that to you, and then you turn around and do the very thing. So when she talks about being afraid to open up is one piece, but I want to know because Sierra does have black friendships as well. I don't know if you've seen the clip. It's recently circulating again. She was on a podcast and she played a voice note from her friend Denisha, and Denisha is cussing the folks out on Summer House. She's saying, "I know them niggas didn't da da da." Yes, so I know she has those friends.
I'm glad.
So I wonder when she talks about how hard it is for her to open up in relationships, has she felt that same way with white women, but she allowed herself to do that.
And this is
now
why
look.
I see people talking about how they want Rachel Lindsay to have the conversation at the reunion and
Yeah.
not the white overseer Andy Cohen.
Come on, thank you. Because
He's not inept.
he's not, and that is an important tie-in. We know that she dates white men. I'm sure she probably dates black men too. I don't know, but so she's talking about not opening up, and she's explained it's the racial piece of it, not just experiencing me. But now, what about these white girlfriends you have? Because I'm gonna be honest, I have white girlfriends. I do operate a little bit differently with them, and then in my with my home girls, I'll say there is a difference. And one thing that I see that kind of, I'm not going to use the word trigger because it don't trigger me, but I see how vocal. If you notice, look how vocal Sierra is on Amanda's behalf and to Kyle. Have we seen Amanda be vocal to West on Sierra's
No.
behalf?
No. I mean, Kyle did say that she's a little lazy, so Kyle is a mess.
Yes, but you know one thing, and this is not giving him a pat. I know
No,
that
not at all.
that he can be. He looks like he could be a horrible husband, very much so.
He is a horrible husband.
A horrible
And I'm
husband.
only basing this off of what I've seen on season 10. So he is a horrible husband. He is. Because even when he couldn't apologize to her.
Yes.
But my thing is that at what point, Amanda, he's been like this. This is not brand new.
And there is a part of me that wonders that she knows he's a horrible husband. So sometimes, you know how when you know somebody is horrible in this area, so when you're home, we don't see the conversations between them. But now I'm gonna get in public and say something small that I know is gonna set you off, so everybody else can see how horrible you really are. So I think there's some of that too. And she'll package it in a joke, like when he talked about the GJing, and she was like, "I mean, I just said I wanted to get a career, and then he became," and that boom set him off. And I said, a part of me wonders how much of it is her.
Poking.
Yes.
Well, they're both Leos, so I wouldn't be surprised.
Okay. And then even after all that, he's talking about her mental health on the side of the street. Granted, he was asked about Amanda, but still.
But that felt like a little like
Planned.
First of all, if I was walking down the street and I've met Kyle, I wouldn't have known that was Kyle. He had sunglasses on and a cap. You couldn't see his hair. I mean, unless you know who's the dogs, but I don't know his dogs like that. And the dog was like, "I am ready to go home." There is a small part of me. There was a larger part of me at one particular point that thought that this was a scheme that Andy set up to bring higher ratings to Watch What Happens Live. Very much like Scandival. And look, Scandival was real. I believe this is real, but it's not shocking to me that it's being elevated because there's a whole media situation that can push this out, and all these media outlets will cover it and talk about it and things like that. So there is a small part of me that thinks that, not that it's planned, but all these people are going to try and reap the benefits of this, including Kyle. And you can see that he's like, "Oh man, I don't know. This is something we're gonna have to address at the reunion." I'm just like, I could get Kyle.
I'm like, oh, his man on the street, random walk interview that he gets a full like you did a full podcast episode
In the streets of New York.
in the streets
And
with
your
your
dog is like, "I am ready to go home." Now.
Right.
Please do not. Does he have a podcast, Kyle? No, I can't listen
no.
to that voice.
No.
Kyle, if you're thinking about doing a podcast, like your own podcast, don't. Because
Do not.
I could not listen to that. He was very nice when I met him at the Crappies. But no, don't do that, Kyle.
And that's I think that he's probably I've historically liked Kyle, not all his actions. I will say this. I think a part of that too was whenever they've had these conversations, like going back to that season that Sierra and Maya were there and she talked about the racial dynamics, Kyle seemed to actually take it in and say, Oh, okay. Ask questions. Oh, wow. And even at the dinner table when Sierra was talking about the racial implication, he seemed to really take it in.
Yeah,
Versus
yeah.
I noticed Amanda got up, went to comfort Sierra, and out of all that, her thing was, so we just need to make a promise to be better to each other. That's not even really what she was.
Amanda seemed a little.
A little disconnected. Amanda
Mm,
has to be disconnected because I mean, think about how she came on the show season one, knowing that you weren't the only one coming in the house to be his hookup on the
mm.
weekends. That's how you came in,
And she married him.
and
Like the signs
she
were there.
from the
But I get
beginning.
why, because if you meet Kyle in like real life, no cameras, and like he could be charming in his own way.
I think, yeah,
And I already knew about some of this stuff from Summer House, but I just thought like whatever. Like like how much is that true? I don't know.
yeah, yeah,
He's not in my life. I'm not dating him. I don't care.
right, right.
You know what I mean? I don't watch the show. I'm like whatever. But when I met him, I was like I could see why people like him. He's charming in person. He's a nice guy.
Mm-hmm.
Would I date him? No.
No,
Would I recommend him with one of my girls? No, because I
right.
did notice a little, and someone told me the night of the Crappies. That's what they were referencing when he woke up at a fan's house. Because the way he was talking to some of those fans, I looked over to Brooke and I said, "Brooke, oh, it's a little. Is he married, Brooke? Because I don't watch the
Yes.
show." I said, "Is he married?"
Mm-hmm.
And
I
so
I feel like there's that, and I feel like he likes a little bit of melanin.
you think?
Just hasn't been able to explore it yet. And then I heard some other
Well, he's
black
about to get
folks
divorced.
talking. Well, I think I think he might be a little bit exploratory. That's what I
Just don't
think.
not with Ciara, please.
Not please no. I see people saying that. I'm like, that's not even joke like that. Absolutely
Sorry, y'all.
not. Like, let's not even joke. Him and Sierra,
It's a
absolutely
little
not.
incestuous in that house. I'm not.
Yes.
I'm not completely surprised. I'm surprised this is the first time there's a big scandal like this.
Right.
But they're also very flirtatious with each other. So I'm sort of like,
And touchy
are we
feely.
surprised?
It's crazy. And I guess, and I was wondering, was it an age thing? But even when I was that age, me and my
But
straight male
they're about our
friends
age. They're not that much younger.
You know what? You're right. You're right.
How old are they? 40?
Kyle's 40. Amanda's what, 34? Sierra's
Amanda's
about to
34?
be 30. Yeah, I think she's 34.
Oh,
I think. I'm pretty sure y'all correct me, but I think she's
oh.
34, 33, something like that. But me and my I'm
Well,
I'm a touchy-feely person and I hug and all that too, but there's a degree to it for me.
I just had to put some moisturizer on.
I see it. I said, "Come on, skincare." Is
I
that
was
courtesy?
like-
Is that courtesy of butter?
Oh, not that particular. Sorry, butter. Not that particular one. But everything else on my face is butter. The vitamin C, the
Shout out,
cleanser. Yeah.
shout out to butter. I love the vitamin C. I just gave my
They're not
daughter
sponsoring this
hers.
video. No, sorry, butter.
Okay, you know what? Producer, remove that. Cut that out, producer. Cut that out.
I'm
Cut that
kidding.
out.
We love butter. We love butter.
But okay. You know the things. You know how. I believe that you have a full view of how networks operate, so you can
Mm.
speak to some of the rumors circulating based on your experience in talking to producers or what have you.
Mm.
Do you in what world would there be? How do I want to ask this question? Did you believe any truth to the rumors of they don't know if Summer House can continue? They're thinking of putting the cameras down and not having Summer House continue because this scandal is so big. Because I feel like that's kind of the opposite of what.
My thing is immediate. I'm like, who said that?
Like,
who said that? No, that's not happening.
okay.
The cameras are up. I mean, they may not be up right now, but they will be up for this summer. They will be up for In the City. I don't know when. Have they started filming In the City yet? No, right?
It's filmed and wrapped.
Oh, okay. So yeah, season 2 is already in the making.
And that's what I'm wondering. I want them to have a scene of at least Kyle, Lindsay, and Sierra and add it on to the end of the Summer House like they did with Scandival.
Mm.
And then I hear people saying, let's not call this, because people have been calling it Scamandival, because Wes is involved too. Wes, honestly, is not even a factor to me. It's that I don't care because I also see people saying she didn't really date him. Sierra only dated him for X amount of months. I don't care if it was 2 days. If I fell hard in love and my friend knew the pain he put me through, and obviously it wasn't over because there's still a back and forth. And this
Especially
man,
this season.
this man literally did an interview with a big magazine talking about me, and we're getting over that, and then played victim in the house. I'm so scared. I don't know what to say to this angry woman that I hurt.
Mm-mm.
And your best friend saw all that, and now your best friend is sleeping with him.
Is that her best friend?
Well, I'll say one of your closest friends. I'll say.
Okay. I wasn't sure.
Yeah,
I
let's
just wanted
take that.
not that there's much of a difference, but it would be bigger.
No, but I think there is. Let's take that back.
But she did defend Amanda. I've been watching in season 10. She's been defending Amanda against Kyle. She's been like a real girl's girl.
And they're friends, like off camera,
Yeah.
like they are friends. Paige,
Not anymore. I would never
Sierra,
trust her again.
Paige, Sierra, and Amanda were the bed bugs. They are friends in real life. So even
Has
if
Paige talked about that? She has, right? She was
on her podcast, her and Hannah, basically not directly, but basically, you know, they're supporting Sierra 100%. Because Hannah and Amanda had a falling out previous seasons, Hannah's last season anyway. So now I believe that Paige doesn't, I'm just going to say it. The people may be mad, the Giggly Squad. Paige doesn't strike me as a type that's going to speak directly, depending on how it's going to affect her money. Yeah, she might not speak directly. Now, she will call out a man because that's just, you know, but certain things, I feel like she'd kind of weigh her options on whether or not, like politically, she ain't trying to mess up her money. So I don't know. Yeah.
Is she MAGA?
She's doesn't believe that, but she's not going to be F ICE.
Oh, okay.
There's
okay,
that.
Paige.
Yeah, so there's that. But I always thought Paige was cute. I know that people are obsessed and love and all those things. And I was just kind of like, years ago when I first started my podcast, I did an episode and the Giggly Squad, before it got huge, so let's not, because people are going to be like, do you really think they had time to be seeing what's in there? Before they got huge, they have a Facebook fan club, group club, whatever it was for Giggly Squad. And Paige and Amanda would be in there talking to the people. And it got a little racist with the George Floyd stuff.
Oh.
And so me and two other podcasters spoke on it. And word got back to the podcast group. And one of them left a review on my Apple talking about it in depth. And this podcast should be canceled. So I made sure the next week I addressed her directly by name and said, check this out. And laid out all the things and the ways that the racism that was showing through. She deleted her review. Paige and Hannah had went into their Facebook group before and said, hey, about other things. But when that topic came up, they didn't come in that group saying, hey, racism is not tolerated in here. So for me, that just gave me a little bit of an insight to, and again, they were active at that time. They probably aren't now. I don't know if they are now, but they were active in the group at that time. So there were other issues they spoke on, but when it came to the little displays of racism and in light of George Floyd, they were silent. So I was like, okay, I know who we're dealing with. There were other folks that I know that were surprised. I wasn't surprised because, again, nothing that they do surprises me. So I'll just say, you know, whatever. But I'm looking forward to the reunion, and I don't like reunions.
I'm looking forward to the reunion because I feel like there's a lot that we're not going to see during the season, and now they're going to have a lot to talk about based off of what's been playing out on social media. I'm not looking forward to Andy Cohen hosting. Why I don't get this, Bravo. And I know I know people think that I want the job. No, I don't. I don't want the job. I want a daytime job. I want my own show. I don't want to be nobody's host. Okay. I don't want his job. I just know that there are so many people already at NBC Universal that are more than equipped that can do it. I just don't understand why they have Andy Cohen doing all the reunions.
Yeah.
No. But anyways, I've digressed.
Half the time, though, there's sometimes he seems checked out. There's other times when you can see who he favors. And there's other times when conversations that should be had or not had because he doesn't have the range to have those conversations. And there's that. I mean, the most we got was him bringing in Nicki Minaj. I mean.
And that's because it's Nicki Minaj, and you see how that landed.
We gonna be Potomac for life.
No,
Anyway,
we're good.
so
Not you singing Nicki Minaj. Canceled.
oh, you know what? No, because
Canceled.
Nicki didn't sing "We Gonna Be Potomac for Life." They
Oh.
remade that, so I was singing the remix.
Oh, okay.
See, strategic.
Still her melody.
Listen,
She still got paid off of that.
she did. She did. So if you hear this, Nicki, I hope you held on to that check. No, we know you didn't because you were in trouble, so you had to get the other. No, I'm not even gonna go there. I'll just say the check cleared from the other side, which is why Erica Kirk is your BFF.
I mean, look, here's the thing. I'm sure you saw over the weekend. Everybody named Mama was over there at the Kanye West concert. I'm like, I see Pepsi has pulled out of the wireless
They sure did.
festival, and a bunch of other sponsors have pulled out since they named Ye as the headliner.
They sure did. And somebody posted Chloe Bailey and said they wonder because is she still signed to?
She is to Parkwood.
Okay.
Beyonce's label. She is.
They were like, they wonder how that's going to go.
Yeah, I wonder too.
That's going to be interesting. That's going to be very interesting.
There were tons of celebrities, including Lauryn Hill was there, Erykah Badu. Like the list is, look, I find it interesting how, and this goes back to talking about the matriarchy versus the patriarchy and how women are treated differently because we were just talking about TLC's Chili and her MAGA donations. And look, full stop. Don't support that. However, I find it interesting in the same week, you guys are, oh my God, I can't wait to listen to Kanye West's new album. I got to get those beats.
As you're telling people not to buy TLC tickets. I mean, the tickets to the. Oh, that
I never told nobody to buy nothing.
Not you, but I mean, I'm seeing the people. But you know, some of the same people on social media saying we're not buying tickets, we're not supporting, are some of the same ones at the Kanye concert. I mean, look at how. I mean, we got to be honest. Even some people with Snoop and Nelly versus Chrisette Michele.
And she's still. I mean, she's still touring and stuff like that. But that's still the stench of that still follows her.
Yeah. So there is, like you said, with the patriarchy, it's like that's, yeah. Well, speaking of, there's no smooth transition, so I'm just jump right into it. Atlanta. I mean,
that's a smooth transition. Pinky, MAGA, no.
Wait.
I don't know why you following those Trumps though, Pinky.
Because I was gonna say, has there been more that's come out?
No, that's the only thing that I've heard. I don't know if she's made any donations to his campaign. Because she has said herself that she's not MAGA, but so did Chili. So.
And I was gonna say, so are you saying I'm not MAGA? See, but they try to be slick. Oh, I'm not MAGA. I just voted for and support. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I want to know. And I know you're going to do your thoughts, all of that, but I want to know when the show came on, when the beat dropped, and Cynthia turned around and acknowledged my podcast and said,
I love that. What? I thought of you immediately. I said, you better use that.
You know, I'm putting that in my intro.
I would say she better use that as her intro. I'm sorry. I had to double check and look at Pinky's profile. She's still following Donald Trump, Ivanka Trump, and Tiffany Trump. Just.
For what reason, Pinky? Oh, Pinky, we need to ask.
And she don't follow us.
And Pinky, I was really trying to ride for you with this. I just put out the information, but I talked about what a tool it was, whatever it was. I was I called you beautiful with that low haircut, with that Caesar, low cut Caesar with the deep wave. Listen, I all that. When the beat dropped. Cynthia referenced my podcast. Cynthia likes you. Reach out to her and let her know now she's got to come on because she'll take it from you.
You can reach out to her.
And the ladies came on screen, even though we saw the first half of the episode on social media 2 weeks before it aired. Because I was like, this looks familiar. Oh, wait, I've seen all of it. We even seen all the dinner. I think the only piece that I hadn't seen was Shamia and Kelly, like at Shamia's house.
And we understand why they didn't use that as a teaser.
I need to ask this question. Shamia is a Taurus?
I know.
Because y'all don't make BFFs like that. And she has not known Kelly that long. Y'all do. That shocked me.
I know. Me too.
Okay. Going back to. And y'all, I say that because I have Taurus friends and I have a Taurus daughter. So y'all are just not making friends like that. But what were your thoughts as you were watching at the end? I know you're going to go into depth on your channel, but I just want your quick, like, what were your initial thoughts?
My initial thought, I thought it was a solid premiere. My initial reaction, though, watching it the first time, I was like, this feels like like I'm watching a scripted show. It felt like it was like I was watching a comedy. I mean, the ghost of Simon was like my favorite part running through
Yes.
that house. But it felt very scripted in a way that was like, wait, I shouldn't be feeling that way about a reality show, especially when you're watching Real Housewives of Rhode Island. That I feel like, oh wait, these people really know each other. It doesn't feel it feels authentic. Atlanta doesn't feel authentic because we know none of these women really are friends like that. And the two friends that were actually friends are no longer friends.
And no longer friends. And the way that they try to make, I was watching Pinky Cole and Shamia in an interview,
Mm.
and the interviewer referenced, I keep feeling like I have ham. I had some ham before I got on here. I keep feeling like I had ham in my teeth. Anyway, so if you see me doing this, it's like I could feel it. But the interviewer referenced Pinky coming on through Shamia. And Shamia didn't say like, "Oh, my good girlfriend." Her answer was more like and I'm paraphrasing, y'all, because y'all be like, "That is not exactly what she said." I'm paraphrasing, but it was more like "Yes, we're talking about fabulous, beautiful woman," and I thought slutty vegan, and then she said Pinky's name. If that was your friend, you would have said, "My girl Pinky." Y'all know her, the owner of Slutty, and I said,
Yeah,
"So
none of
y'all
these
were
people know each other. They probably knew of her business. They probably, especially in Atlanta, they probably
yes,
seen each other around town. None of these people really have a connection when you think about it.
no."
Yes, now Shamia and I feel like Kelly have formed a connection,
Hmm.
but for the most part, like even Angela and Drew, I think that's an alliance. I don't feel like they're
Same,
hanging out and that kind of thing.
same.
So yeah.
It, and then the whole Portia said, trying to convince us how she's known Kay for years, and people say we look alike, girl. Even if like, girl, that is not how y'all. Oh, and you're married? Yeah, a couple weeks ago. It was all just very much like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I see what you mean about the scripted element of it. I did enjoy. I enjoyed the dinner, the laughing. I'm going to be honest. Oof, I don't want y'all to get me. Before the
Get her.
season started, are you encouraging them to come after me?
Get her.
I've liked K Michelle. I liked her
Mm,
on Queen's Court. I liked her on Love and Hip Hop when all the ladies came against her. I was just kind of like, wow, that's. I also know there's a side of her that irks me, right?
mm,
Like I feel like the K we see is the real K,
mm,
which lets me know that she probably would irk you sometimes, and who
mm,
knows, I may irk her. But what kind of did annoy me though was you've been in reality TV, you know it. So I'm tired of the walk away from the table. It was like, oh my
mm.
God, like now we're taking minutes to talk about this. At the same time, I get it, but I was just like reality TV. But what I didn't realize was how deeply she still carried the
Mm,
hurt from Love and Hip Hop and what those ladies did to her. And I
hmm.
was like, that's real.
Yeah.
Like,
And she left
wow.
Atlanta. She moved back to Tennessee. She went to
Yeah.
Nashville.
And it really, because I was with Kay when they just kind of dismissed her.
Hmm.
And even if they say, oh, it's a lie, it's at the end of the day, if that's your friend and your friend has went through that, like to tell her she's lying about her experience only for
Hmm.
years later to come out that it's true, but to
Yeah.
and a group of women do this. And when she said Atlanta has been a mean girl, when I liked how Portia was telling her, even though part of me was kind of like, Portia's the messenger, but I get what she was saying. Kay, she said Drew, a singer who you're not going to get into it with, because we know Kay gets into it with beefs with the singers. But that after Kay kind of opened up, I was like, oh, I like that Portia did that because I never saw that for like
Hmm. I
that
almost forgot about it
vulnerability.
too
Yeah, yeah, me too.
because it's been so
Yes.
many years.
So to see that vulnerability from her was something. I'm tired of Shimmy already. I'm just gonna
The
say it.
Countess of Cringe is what we call her now. Thank you, Miss Parker. Hmm.
Hey, Miss Parker. That because
The Countess of Cringe.
oh, that is perfect. Because
And
I
her
almost
court
get
look, her
embarrassed.
court jester, Kelly.
Yes. She's one that makes you embarrassed by the things she's like, oh my gosh, Shamia.
Don't say anymore, Sharia.
Like, even her trying to insert herself with the Angela and the receipts aren't
Mm.
receipting, and her saying, well, why don't you care, Angela?
They wanted to get in between her and Drew's friendship.
So bad. And the way Angela just smooth cut her off, I don't care about that. I'm talking about and just like kept the energy there. And to me, even the Drew Shamia back and forth, I was cackling at Drew because I was like, get her, Drew. Like, now
But at the
Shamia,
same time, I'm like, Drew, messenger, you got your man is in the phone.
well, I was going to
Your
say,
man is in the phone.
Shamia got her good when she said, go back to your work Zoom call.
I was like,
that was a good one, Shamia. So I enjoyed the dinner and the shade about Portia's man, and when they were in the confessional.
everybody was like a rent a date though. Everybody. Trey with Kelly, Drew with the man in the phone, Portia with Mike, who was on Ready to Love,
yes,
and is doing all these comedies because apparently he's an actor. Who else was there with a rent a man? There was someone else, one other person with a rent a man. Or maybe that was it. Oh, here's my thing. I like me some K. Michelle, but I think it was very interesting when K. Michelle said she had got married 2 weeks before the show.
At court.
Her contract was already signed way before that. So did she get married for the show?
For the show, and also her saying it was a catastrophe. And I said, well, why was it a catastrophe, Kay? And when she said 2 weeks.
And they've been, look, in all fairness, I've known that they've had a on again, off again relationship for many, many, many years. Okay. He's done reality show. I was a marriage boot camp with her years ago.
Oh, he did marriage boot camp with her?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But I feel like, especially when the clues, and I feel like a lot of times I'm right when I start seeing these clues at the very beginning, and then all of a sudden by the end of the season, I'm like, is that a real relationship anymore? I know it was a real relationship at some particular point, but is it still a real relationship? Right. And Andy revealing that she had sent him a DM maybe a few years ago.
Yep.
Saying that she thinks that she would be a perfect Atlanta housewife. I'm like, the clues are standing out to me.
Yes.
But I still like me some K. Michelle.
I was trying to read their vibe, to read their vibe to see. I didn't know that they have been off and on. So I was like, oh, okay. Hoping that it was real, because the way she described when she said to Portia 2 weeks ago at the courthouse, it was a catastrophe. And I was like, well, maybe she used the wrong word. I don't know. But it was like, I just wanted it to be real because I don't believe Portia's is. You know what I'm saying?
No, definitely not. She's now with Sway.
Yeah.
She with the Butch stud. She's part of the Ligga Bigga Tigga crew now.
Yes.
Welcome to the community.
There is a part of me that's like, Portia just, whatever the way the wind blows and the story goes.
Yeah. Honestly. Because
I don't know if I even believe that, what we're going to be seeing later on in the season.
With Sway.
Yeah. Whichever way the wind blows.
I think she had a casting call for her potentials, and Mike was one of the casting, and apparently maybe they did some test filming, and production were like, yeah, we're not believing it, and then they were like, we probably believe more so your situation with Sway. I think that would be interesting. That would be dynamic. That would be different for you. Let's do that.
That would be different for you. That's a different storyline that we haven't explored yet with you. That's just, and that's why I want to feel authenticity from these women, like you say.
Oh, wait, I now remember who the other person who had a rent a man. Chi-Chi, Phaedra's Chi-Chi.
Oh,
I forgot the Phaedra.
I forgot about Phaedra. Hold on, can we have to break this down? Phaedra and Angela talking about this. I've seen people say, because there's always going to be defenders and not defenders, right? People say Phaedra didn't say she saw the tape. She said she had the tape pulled. What was the intent? Because what she said to Angela was, there are tapes and she didn't come up to you. So listening, your brain would, she wants your brain to immediately go to, she saw the tape. She gets in the confessional. They ask her and says, I asked them to pull the tape. She never even said if they pulled it or not.
And even the way she says it, it's like, damn, girl, you have not learned to lie yet. You've been lying to us since your first season.
You're doing lawyerese, which is not lawyerizing.
No, like, I thought you knew how to lie. Come on.
I'm like, I know y'all are not trying to defend. We're going to take
there'll always be the people that will defend Phaedra. And it was funny because someone called in when we were doing our recap of Atlanta earlier that they had mentioned that Portia can't carry a show. We need like an OG that can really anchor a show. I was like, did y'all forget that Phaedra was there too? She's an OG. I mean, not an OG, but very much like Portia. Like, she's been there even longer than Portia.
Yes.
And she's not able to carry a show on her own. So
it's like they need, because I know Phaedra can be funny, Portia can be, but it can't just be that. It's all fluff. Like,
wait till Ultimate Girls Trip happens and we see the maybe the one episode when they come to Atlanta. You're gonna notice, you're gonna be like, and this is what people miss about Nene. Say what you want about Nene, and I've said it all.
Yes.
But I will never deny that Nene is great reality television and she can anchor a show.
Yes.
Can she have her own show? No.
No.
But she can anchor a show.
Yes, I agree. I agree with that. And that I think that's what's missing, because I do think I'm hopeful now. I'm hopeful after watching this episode that maybe we'll get, and at the very least, I'm just going to at base level, I'm going to be entertained. And I like watching beautiful women. So I'll see beautiful women, beautiful faces, beautiful gowns, if nothing else.
I don't know about the beautiful gowns.
Portia gives me beautiful gowns.
Yeah, definitely.
Portia might be the only one, because I don't know what the hell Kelly had on in that confessional. I said, Kelly's
confessionals were tacky as hell. I will give it to Cynthia. Had one confessional look, I think, so far this season, and that was gorgeous.
Yes.
And the hair, and I think that's go naked hair too. I was like, yeah, she looks great.
That's great. And sometimes Drew gets it right. I
liked her little short black bob Chanel suit that she had on.
Drew, to me, I call her angel face, because without makeup, she's just so beautiful and so ethereal. But Drew never gives me sexy. Like, Portia gives me sexy, even if she's in sweats. Drew gives me, and they're all beautiful. Don't get me fake, but Drew is beautiful too. But she gives me more like the angelic look, where Portia would be like, I'm not looking, I see you. I'm not looking, I see you. You know, like, I
mean, especially in that dress she wore in front of all those other married couples.
Come on.
Giving us side boob.
Listen. Hey, Charles. No. Speaking of Charles, I feel like the Charles that we got this episode has always been the Charles, but maybe he just didn't want to be on camera. But I liked what we got. I didn't dislike Charles. I felt like, come on, enough of this is who I am. I'm just an old black man who gonna do what I want to do type.
I liked his little banter with K. Michelle.
Me
I'm looking forward to more scenes with them, because they really seem to have a nice little key. He had more chemistry with K. Michelle than his own wife.
Come on, that's what. And I like how Kay said, he's an asshole, and I'm gonna try. And she meshes well with him. I was like, boom. I really liked the back and forth too. And even when Shamia and Drew were arguing, he was like, okay, hey y'all. I was like, he into it now. Better watch out, Angela. He might start really liking the camera. And Angela said she ain't believe in no rumors no more. But then she asked him to give her a kiss, and he said, here you go. I said, see, Angela, come on. Don't, please, because you about to make my butt cheeks get tight. When they get tight, it means I'm embarrassed. Don't ask that man for a hug or a kiss on camera.
I think she's playing into the narrative.
You think she's, yeah. So you think
on some level, I think she's playing into the narrative. I mean, but I guess only time will tell.
Yeah. She's got to be. Yeah. I'm looking forward to episode 2. Okay.
They had a premiere party. Well, Pinky had a premiere party, and she only invited Cynthia and K. Michelle. And she said, because I had a source that was at the party, she said the only reason why she invited Cynthia and K. Michelle because those are the only people on the cast that she likes.
Now hold on.
I didn't even get to say that on my live.
Exclusive.
So I was like, oh. But for me, I was like, that's not great for Pinky, because the last thing you need is that you are in the outs with the majority of the cast.
And you're a newbie coming in. But also, so you and your good girlfriend Shamia? Because that's how it was presented to us.
That's true. So I guess only way we're going to see this season, she has another falling out. But you heard what Kelly said. Kelly said that Pinky's not a girl's girl.
She sure did. But when Pinky came in and said, "Hey, Kelly," and then said how Kelly left her on red, you reached out to her because of the show. When y'all got cast.
I got my good eyes on you, Pinky. I'm open. I'm keeping an open mind.
I feel like there's something up with even when she did the interview on Nene's.
Oh yeah.
Show now defunct. I don't know. So.
They're on hiatus. They're taking a summer break. Oh, wait.
From which summer? Because we're in summer 2026 almost. Okay.
So it will be back this summer.
Come back with a
busy,
co-host.
okay? Nene
Love
is
you, Nene, but come back with a
busy.
co-host, baby, please.
Not a co-host.
Somebody to balance stuff off of. I love Nene, but I said that's one. I'm glad that
You're not ready for the Nene and the Nene morning show?
No. Now I would do a
Just
podcast
hating.
with Nene.
Oh, you would do the podcast.
I would bring it
Okay.
out of her. I would bring it out of her.
Okay.
I would say, Nene, we're two girlfriends having conversation. Put the cue cards down and let's just talk.
This gonna be two fire signs.
I can handle
Fire.
that. She's a Sagittarius, right?
Sagittarius, as they like to call.
They
I
keep-
don't mean any harm. I love me some Sagittarius.
Well,
y'all.
you know Corey's one, so I know how to
I'll
handle
see.
them.
Oh Lord.
Sometimes you got to fight fire with fire.
Oh.
And it's either going to burn to the ground or be a brilliant flame together.
Well, Mark, look, reach out to Nene, or Nene, if you're watching this, reach out to Taria.
Because I think we would have a good old time. I definitely think we would have a good old time. But, oh my God.
She does have a her new partner. Didn't she on tour with Carlos?
I'm loving light. over here.
Oh. Okay. Me too. Me
Love,
too.
light, and a little bit of shade. Would I go see? I would love to go see Nene. And maybe
I mean, that's the whole reason why Carlos was. You think people will just go to see Carlos?
you know what? That's true. You know what? That's fair point. Fair point. Duh.
Come on, he knows what's going to bring the people out.
You know what? That's
Not a
good
lot of people
point.
can sell out a show just with your name.
Come on, Kempire, and set record-breaking live stream.
Ooh. I mean, not everyone can do it.
Not everybody can do it. Nope.
Everyone really thinks they have beef with Carlos. I really do not.
No, you don't. It's just, and it's fun too. It's just fun.
Yeah.
It's just fun. I'm sure you two will be sitting down having a conversation on somebody's camera one day.
You never know.
You never know. I'm gonna be right there. I'm doing emergency breakthrough.
Got
I'm gonna be like
a
Marvin.
question.
I'm gonna be like Marvin Sapp. Close the doors. Close
Lord.
the doors.
Did Marvin Sapp just get married?
And now he's baptizing kids with a slide. Oh yeah, he said that it's going to be a baptism like you've never seen. It's going to be a water slide, and they're going to slide down into the pool. He wants kids to. Now, okay, that's going to be a question for y'all. How do y'all feel about that? Look, I got baptized, but I chose to. My parents didn't make me. I got baptized with my mom when I was 10, and we wade in the water. We had the white outfits on. Looking back, we probably look like Klansmen, but we had on the white robes outfits.
God.
We had the long line we walked into, and I wanted to get baptized, and I got to get baptized with my mom. I do believe that parents you can get christened, and then you can give your child the choice whether or not they want to do it. So are they going to slide into the pool and then you hold them underwater, or are they going to slide? Like, what is everything doesn't have to be a gimmick, I guess.
Yeah. I guess, I mean, it sparked conversation. So
It definitely did.
Rage bait, apparently, it's coming to the church.
Yeah, and I said, I guess at the end of the day, child, maybe people feel like, listen, as long as my child is getting baptized, I don't care if they're coming down a water slide into a pool.
Who's paying for that water slide? Close the doors.
Close the doors.
We got a water slide to pay for.
I told my mom it sounded like he wanted to cuss. Close them doors. That's what he wanted to say. But
Probably.
but there's
Look,
that.
he's a pastor. I mean, he's still human.
Yeah,
But he knew well enough not to say it in the church, in the house of the Lord.
I get all that. Close the doors. That's what I'm gonna say for now. Close the doors.
We've got a pool and a slide to pay for.
Exactly, and that needs to come up off of y'all backs. I'll start it off by giving $100, and if I can give 100, ain't no reason why my elders can't give 100, because that's where it's gonna go. But congratulations on you and your wife, Marvin. Congrats. So look at all the mega pastors getting married. Jamal Bryant.
You know what? You know
Marvin
who I just saw a
Sapp.
clip about? And he's not a pastor, but he's a politician. Cory Booker got married not too long ago, and I
Yes, he
said
did.
recently on X, I said I feel like he's going to try and run for president again in 2028. Why did I see a clip last night where he was being interviewed by ABC News, and he says he didn't confirm that he was running, but he one of the first things that he mentions, he says, "Oh well, I just got married, and he basically is saying that he got married." Because a lot of y'all weren't feeling this man as a single man running for president. So I feel like that was a scheme that Todd set up for Cory Booker to come to us with some BS marriage and he's running for president. But a lot of people are saying we do not want him as president.
Wow. Because he was with Rosario Dawson for a while.
And his new wife looks like a Rosario Dawson.
Because that seemed like it came out of nowhere. It was like he was with Rosario.
It did come out of nowhere.
And then he was married.
Yep.
Because I remember before people were shocked that he was even with a Rosario Dawson, if you get what I'm saying. People were like, oh, okay, I didn't know.
I mean, Rosario Dawson stays booked and busy. Okay.
Yes, she does. Yes, she does. No,
You
by
can
that.
read between the lines on that one.
Oh, I got it. I just caught it. Okay. It went.
Stays booked and busy with the top performances. Okay.
Just hit me in my head. I get it. See, we're on the same page.
But she was like, I will not be getting married to you, though.
Yeah. That's where it stops. You've gone too far. Wow, I'm going to have to look up the new wife.
He found a new ingenue.
Yes, because I don't know. Okay, I'm going to have to look it up. But I do remember, I was like, oh, he got married? Look at them all getting married all of a sudden.
Because they think that's going to work for them in 2028.
Wow. That is...
How do you feel about, look, I'm taking over. How do you feel about Kamala talking about running again in 2028?
I wish that I felt as much as I would vote. I wish that I felt as hopeful as I did when she ran this time, even though there was a very small part of me. And I never wanted to voice it out loud because I do believe what you put out in the atmosphere and your words are powerful. But I never wanted to voice. There was like everybody was saying they had black women for Kamala, white women for Kamala, gay men for Kamala, straight men for Kamala, black men for Kamala. They had all these for Kamalas and were raising all this money. But there was a small part of me that was like, but I would have never said that out loud, right? But I still, but on the same token,
you still haven't said it out loud.
There was a small part of me that was like, I don't know if this is truly going to happen, if the world is ready. But then there was the other part of me, which is kind of hard to reconcile, that was like, I felt a piece of hope. Like when President Obama was running, there was that hope. I don't like to be negative. I always like to feel hope, but I don't feel hope. I just, like you said, I have to believe that the world is going to rebalance itself and come back to itself. But I don't know if it's going to be with her. Not because of what I believe, but because of just other people,
Yeah.
I don't know.
My thing is, though, at the end of the day, we need to follow the process. And that's one of the things that I'm very critical of when it comes to the Democratic Party, because they didn't follow the process. They had Biden in place.
Yes.
And then he decided at the last minute.
Yeah.
And they sort of superseded our constitutional process of having a primary and having the Democrats select their candidate, and they sort of superseded that. And that's one of the things I'm very critical of. Not only did she have very little time to really present herself to the American people, that Donald Trump had over a year to do for a very long period of time. So I'm always critical. I'm like, you know what, you want to run, but let me see who else is out there.
Yes, that's because that's how it's supposed to be anyway. When you think that's how this process is supposed to work anyway. It's like, do I want a black woman or a black person? Absolutely. Also, in all things, and white people listening, all of us need to really vet the candidates and see where you fit.
Especially now, because now the world is so different after a Donald Trump. So what Kamala or Cory said back in whenever they ran, was 2020, back then is not going to be relevant to where we need our Democratic candidates to be today.
Yes, I agree.
You have to be definitely a little bit more liberal than you are. You can't really toe the line in regards to that. You have to really invoke hope for people.
And make it known that you are for the people. That's one thing I can say, like with President Obama, as much as we loved having a black president and things that he did, he was a president for everyone. I feel like I
Mm-hmm.
can say he was a president for everyone. And like you said earlier in the episode, that is something we want. We want somebody who's going to be a president to the United States, and to
Yeah.
not cause division. Because one thing with Trump, I remember in 2016 to 2020, it felt like every single day there was something to talk about with him, whether it was
Mm-hmm.
major or small. It was every single day. And then from with Biden's term, we didn't have that. And it felt so good to be able to turn on CNN and talk about something that may not even have anything to do with the administration or
Yeah.
something. And now we are right back to what we were in 2016 through 2020. Every day there's something. You were talking about the president of the United States telling another country, open the effing road. Like,
Mm.
we're going to
It's a
destroy you.
reminder to people, because people are very quick to get complacent, that freedom is not something that's just given.
Mm,
You know what I
right.
mean? So we have to remember that, especially as Black people. We already know that.
Hmm.
However, I think, yes, the tourist in me is like, yes, I want to be able to live in a world where everything is just okay.
Yes, yes, yes.
However, it doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
And I can definitely see the benefits of a Donald Trump igniting and inspiring people to go to law school, people to get involved in politics, people to
Mm,
speak out, people to read more, to educate themselves beyond what the United States is teaching in the media or in school. There's so much education that's being revealed and information that's being revealed because of this dark side of where we are today.
right.
So for me, that's the positives of what we can take from a Donald Trump and what's happening right now. It is going to make people more aware. I think it's pulled the mask of what people think or thought the
Hmm.
United States was. You're realizing now, oh, that truly isn't what the United States represents, or what it means. Now we're starting to see that, especially when we see what's happening in Palestine, when we see what's happening now in Lebanon. We're
Mm.
realizing that the United States actually is I don't want to use this word just because I'm in the United States.
Right.
But we're realizing that the United States is not innocent
Yes.
in what's been happening around the world. When we talk about colonialism and things like that, we are
Mm.
seeing modern day colonialism around the world, and we're realizing that the people that have been complicit.
Mm. That's the key word too, complicit. Like you knew what
Hmm.
was going on as well.
Hmm.
Wow.
I
But
mean, the
that,
Jeffrey Epstein of it all too.
and then there are people, what do you think when about the conversations people are having, that the reason that maybe the wars and all of these things are going on are distractions from just that? Do you agree, or do you think there's some validity to it?
No, I mean, I can see why people would think that some of what's happening in Iran and around the world are distractions from the Jeffrey Epstein. No, we could do two things at the same time. I think what we're realizing is that these things have been going on for a long time, not just
Yes.
with Donald Trump. The United States, even with Democratic presidents, these things have been going on. The United
Hmm.
States has not been innocent. They have been complicit, especially when it comes to Israel and funding Israel and things like that, and being
Yep.
funded. You know, people like Cory Booker are being funded by APAC and things like
Mm.
that. So it's not just a Republican thing. It's the United States thing
Yeah.
when it comes to this. So I don't think it's a distraction from just Jeffrey Epstein. These things have been happening before Jeffrey Epstein.
And now they're just coming out. We're finding out. It's like everything is happening at
Being
once.
exposed, the age of
Yes.
Aquarius. Go
Mm.
Google Schmoog. I know some of you do not believe in astrology, but Google the things that will happen, or the things that happened the last time it was the age of
Wow.
Aquarius. Now we are literally in the middle of the age of Aquarius, so none of this is surprising to me. But like I said, I get why you get so frustrated and why a lot of people get so frustrated, because they're losing hope. But I
Hmm.
always truly believe life is always going to be brought back to balance. We saw a perfect example of that recently was the pandemic. We saw literally the world shift and
Yes.
be brought back to balance, not just politically, but environmentally.
Hmm.
People's lives are completely changed. I quit my job during the pandemic.
Yeah.
So many other, the growth of entrepreneurs happened during this time. There will always be some element of the world that seems off balance, but there will be a great balance that will happen. We probably don't feel it or see it now, but
Hmm.
it will happen. And we have to also get out of this space of always watching the news. I'm not saying that you
Same.
can't be
That's me.
aware, but
Yep.
some people are constantly, the news is like their background, and that's not
Yes.
good for your nervous system. That's not good for your psyche. It's good to know because I'm fully aware,
Yeah.
but I'm
Yeah.
also not, I don't have the news playing, all the time around me. And that's why I think a lot of people love to come to our channels every once in a while when we're talking about something completely different that's
Yes.
not politically driven. However, I do mention these things so people also understand I'm fully aware of what's happening in the world.
Yeah. And I think there are some things that people may miss, and that do as a whole, we need to discuss these things. Or like you said, you
Hmm.
need to be aware of what could possibly come down the pike. I was listening to, shout out to the Ooh Ladies First panel with Bondi Blue, Jamie, that's me, and Niecy Dixon. And they had a segment, and Bondi, it was called oh my gosh, you know how they have police camera footage. I forget what it's called, but you know how you can like
Body
watch
cam.
police, yeah, body cam. So they
Hmm.
had like hospital cam in Florida. A black woman was in labor on
Hmm.
a Zoom call with a judge
Oh,
and
yes.
other white men, or other white people, I'm sorry, because she wanted to have a vaginal birth
Hmm.
and they wanted her to have a cesarean. So they got the government involved.
Mm. And this is in Florida,
This is in Florida.
a whole
And
other country. That's what it feels like,
you know
Florida.
what I love? Shout out to Kid Fury from
Oh,
the Read. He always says, and I'm from the state of Miami, because Miami and Florida are two different states. That's what he
yeah,
always says.
yeah.
But this
I get
woman
it.
is saying, she literally says to them, I cannot believe, like, and I'm paraphrasing again, but like, that I'm talking to you, like I'm in labor and I'm having to talk to you about this, and I don't
Mm.
see anybody that looks like me. And the judge says, well, I don't
Mm.
see how that has to do with anything. And she said, it does. She has the baby. Oh, so the judge rules and says, okay, basically, you can continue to try for a vaginal birth, but if it's an emergency comes, then they have to give you a C-section, like literally a court
Mm.
of law. So then she gets waking up in the middle of the night and says, oh, the baby's heart rate's dropping. We have to take you, which
Mm.
sometimes that can be dangerous. And sometimes when you're in labor, that happens, right? So they take her into surgery. After surgery, she has to get back on a Zoom call with these people. And she says, I don't care. I just want to see my baby, whatever. Get me off this. I just want to see my baby.
Mm.
This one, can you imagine her blood pressure? Like, I don't think people really realize
Is she a black woman?
yes. And that's why she said to them,
So there's
I,
another layer to this.
yes. So when she says to the judge, I don't feel comfortable, there's nobody else black, he says to her, he doesn't see what that has to do with this. The
Mm.
judge said that.
And if you and that says to me, the judge is not even educated on how,
Right.
especially when we're talking about black women and having babies in America.
Yes.
Your
Medical.
judge is not well versed on the law or the statistics or any of that when it comes to how bad that is for black women. So,
And this woman, I felt for her because I remember, like I said, I think people, because people feel like, oh, women have babies every day. They don't realize how easy it is to pass away
hmm,
giving birth,
dangerous.
and how much.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, I remember after I had my son, my ankles, like if they hadn't gone down, I was going back to the hospital. When I tell you, it was like both of my ankles were like 2, 3 times their size. And
Mm.
clearly it was fluid, but it was like, what are you like? I don't know what to do. I remember being pregnant and I had a headache for days, to the point
Mm.
where I was at work and they were like, Taria, you look like you're barely opening your eyes.
Mm.
Corey takes me to Johns Hopkins on Eastern Avenue, Bayview.
Oh.
And you know what the lady told me at the desk? She said, we're really busy. Honestly, if you don't have a wound or like bleeding from your head, you're going to be here all night. So if you want to stay, you can. I'm a visibly pregnant woman
Mm.
who And I was just like, and I just left. I just said,
Mm,
okay, and prayed for the best. Like, because
mm.
I was not, but it was just, it's like they say they care about women and babies and pregnant women and all of that. And no, you
They
don't. So,
do?
I mean, I'll go back and say this. They want you to have the baby.
Mm.
What you go through to have it and taking care of it afterwards is none of their concern. I mean, Trump did say the other day we can't pay for Medicare, Medicaid, and daycare,
But we can pay for these wars,
but we can pay
trillions of dollars
and I said, do they
for a war
realize
that didn't happen.
who and the way he's coming at them as if they started it? That's like me starting an argument with you, then telling you, well, it's like
You
you
started
started
it.
this.
I'm like,
Yeah.
excuse me?
You started this whole mess. Like it's so crazy.
Mm.
That's why shows like Atlanta, I have yet to watch. My mouth can't say the Real Housewives of Rhode Island. I was going to try to say Rory. I
Is
want
that
to.
what they're calling it?
If it's
I mean, that
RHO,
makes sense, Rory.
Rory, right? But my mouth doesn't want to form the words. But shows like that restore balance to my nervous system, even though there's a lot
Mm.
of yelling and hollering.
Oh
It
God.
restores balance. Sometimes you got to watch an episode of Bad Girls Club, y'all, to restore
Excuse you?
balance.
I do not watch that.
Sometimes I got to go click on old episodes of Bad
No, but I
Girls
used to
Club.
watch Bad Girls Club back in the day, but I definitely do not watch baddies.
Yeah, I don't. I've thought I was going to try. First of all, I cannot pay for another membership.
Oh my
I just
God.
cannot find
And
it in
they're
my
going
heart.
up. Netflix is going up.
I can't find it in my heart or pocketbook to pay for another thing. But yeah, so I guess yeah, that Bad Girls Club was our version of Baddies, but they've taken it to a whole different
Yeah.
level.
Oh, a whole other level. Or have they? I don't know. I can't because I don't watch it, so I
Yeah,
can't
so you
really
can't even really
compare.
say, right? They
But
just
it was pretty bad back in the day, Bad Girls Club.
Bad Girls Club was bad. I ain't get no sleep. You not get no sleep. Tanisha in
Boom.
those
And
spots.
I'll be like this. And mind you, I shouldn't be watching this as a kid. Like,
So
what?
I used to
And I'm not
watch
even
it.
violent.
My oldest used to watch it as well, and she was little too. And I was like, I'm watching it, like so she would watch it. She was watching it as a kid too. The days of actual real reality TV,
Mm-mm. Lord.
But hey, Kempire, I have kept you for how many hours? Oh, okay, I'll wrap it up because if it was only like an hour and some change, I wasn't going to wrap it up, but I'll wrap it up because it's been
Wow. How long has it been? Two
like two
hours?
hours.
Almost?
It's
Almost?
that's our normal. That's normal.
Oh. Okay, noted.
Is there I want to end this podcast with a message of hope for people. So,
Mm,
can you kind of just go over what you said earlier about the world balancing and hope and all that? Because I want people to have taken, although we're talking about reality TV, we also did do our pop of politics, but I want people to leave with hope and knowing that there are other people in the world that feel like them, but also are
mm.
believing that there is hope.
Yeah, I mean, without a doubt, and I get it because it's so funny because so many people who we met at the live show were like, "You are my news. I go to you for my news." I was like, "Really? You're not watching Don Lemon? You probably should because he's giving you a little bit more news than I'm giving you." But no, I truly believe if you're here and you're healthy, that's the most important thing. And we've lived through a lot in our lives. Just the folks of us that are still here, we've lived through a pandemic. We lived through global warming. We've lived through just so many things that have happened, and we have lived through it. We have come
Yeah.
through. We've lived through, just so many things. And I truly believe balance is always restored. It may not be perfect, but balance
Yeah.
is always restored. And I can see the benefits. And some people are not ready to hear that. Some people might be like, "What the hell are you talking about? There is nothing beneficial from a Donald Trump." Please understand, I'm not saying that Donald Trump is anything good,
Right.
but there are good things that will come from it. There will people that will be inspired to go to law school. People will be inspired to get more involved in their communities. People
Yeah.
wanting to become politicians, wanting to be president so they don't see stuff like this. People that are going to go beyond watching Fox News or CNN and like, you know what? They're discovering content creators that are giving real news, educating you on what's happening internationally. That is what this administration, the first time around and this time around, is giving birth to. So there
Ooh.
will be a balance if you look for it. You're educating yourself on how these companies are buying up all these other companies, and how that you're being pushed this propaganda from your own country. You're seeing that the United States is not exactly the home of the free or the free thinking.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you're going to, if you want, because some people don't. Some people are like, I don't. I like what he's doing. This works for me. There will always be people. There will always be an audience for people like Donald Trump, but there is an audience for you too. You just have to find them. But you also have to find balance within your own life. You can't, like I said, you can't be constantly watching the news every day, because that is why you're feeling stressed.
Yeah.
You're not getting outside and touching grass. You're telling people on the internet to go touch some grass, and you're not doing it yourself.
Listen, yes, yes.
And I mean, literally, go touch some grass. Go hug a tree.
Ground.
Go
Go
for a
outside
walk.
barefoot. Go outside barefoot.
I mean, I don't know if I would do that in New York. Wait, go to the park first.
I was gonna say you can't. Yes,
Go to the park.
I can do that right here, in my little
Don't
area.
you Sierra be sitting on that damn street in front of Hermes? Yes, Sierra. In front of Hermes, crying over West. But I get it, girl. I get it.
Oof.
I guess.
You think that picture was real?
I just never know with these reality TV stars. I know people are like, Sierra would never do something like that. Y'all swear y'all know these people.
You don't. Right.
You don't.
Right.
You don't.
But I thank you for that message of hope. I agree, because that's why I say I do pops of it, because I know my mentally can't do it. And sometimes if we're home and Corey is watching, he can take it better than I can. So I'll just put on my headphones and I'll sit down here with him, but I'll be like on my phone. I'll use that time for other stuff, because sometimes just the sound of his voice can set my nervous system, and I don't want to do that to myself.
I don't even listen to him.
Yeah.
I don't even turn on anything because he's not going to tell me anything of value. I'll get the Cliff Notes.
Yeah, because it's like, I don't believe what you're saying anyway, or it's nonsense.
He's not even speaking to us. He's speaking to his base.
That's very true. So why am I listening to somebody that's not even talking to me? That's very true. And we'll get the Cliff Notes. Yeah. Well, thank you for giving not Cliff Notes, but the fullness of hope and balancing. I do love the pandemic example, because when the world was shut down, we had bluer skies, bluer waters, cleaner air. And it was like it was meant for us to just rest. Families were restored. And
I understand too, people will, think back to them like, well, I lost my job. I lost family. I lost friends. Yeah. I was just thinking to myself, and I never asked my sister this because she is a nurse and practitioner during this time. I met someone at the live show that is a nurse, and he was talking about being a nurse during that time. And I was like, the amount of trauma that medical professionals may have seen during that time. Wow. I get it. I completely understand it. Sometimes you're not ready to hear what I have to say in regards to that, because I haven't experienced what you've experienced, especially during the pandemic. But that means you just have to take a little bit more in order to find what was the positive thing. Right. The fact that you're able to even think about it because you're still here while others aren't, that's one positive.
That's the positive. I know Corey had been wanting to buy a house for years. I was scared, nervous, to be honest. I didn't want to be committed or tied down, and we ended up buying in the as it was slowly opening up, boom, and it happened within 4 days.
Wow.
The total process of pre-approval, approved, finding the house, getting the first house we saw that we wanted. 4 days. I'll never, the paperwork at first, I honestly thought, is this real? Because people talk so much about how hard the process was. We barely heard from those folks unless they needed a piece of paper here, a piece of paper there. And I was like, this is.
And it's also because of the pandemic, certain things were limited on what you could do. So it sort of forced a lot of things to move quicker.
Yes. We didn't even meet the homeowners. They weren't at the table. Like, they signed because of the pandemic and in close quarters, like they signed, and then we went into the office and signed, but it just happened. So boom, boom. And I remember I ended up getting a grant in the pandemic, which I was like, let me just put this in the bank because I don't know what's going to happen. And then boom, they tell you got the house and and can you meet me 8:00 tomorrow morning with $5,000 of earnest money? And I said, who is Ernest? But I had it in the bank because of my grant, so, but I was like, you want me to meet you tomorrow? With how much? But so when you talk about like being, and this is something that he had been wanting to do for years, and it happened in a matter of days.
4 days.
And then, of course, we had the 30 the process of all the,
Yeah.
we closed in November, but the process started September 27th, and 4 days later, signed, sealed, delivered, and we just had to wait out the 30. But yeah, so and I even said to him, there was a part of me that was like, should we be doing this in the middle of this?
Mm.
But you just
What did he
never.
say? What Corey
He said yes. He was ready. He felt like he has been ready. But it just, that also let me know. Sometimes we are geared to think that there has to always be a struggle associated with success, sometimes and achievement. Sometimes there is, but sometimes there isn't. And sometimes we bring that on ourselves.
We're told that. We're taught that.
That it has to be struggle. And for me, no matter what you believe in, whether it's God, whether it's the universe, you still have to have faith. And just a quick story, I'll never forget. I was in my kitchen because my Peloton was in my kitchen because, in the pandemic, everybody got Pelotons. So we got a Peloton. Listen.
I need to sell my Peloton.
And it was in my kitchen and I was riding it. And I was in a group chat with 2 other friends. Their husband is a realtor. And I say that because I met them in 2020 or 2019 or early 2020. We didn't get the house until 2021. So a year and a half later. When I met her, all she said to me was, oh, my husband's a realtor. And I said, oh yeah, Corey wants to move. He's really ready to buy a house. She never mentioned anything. All she said, no, actually, I'm sorry. When we met, yeah, she mentioned her husband was a realtor. I said, oh, that's why, Corey has wanted to buy a house. That was it. She never mentioned, I can hook you up with him. Nothing. September 2021, I was in the kitchen and I was riding the Peloton, and people that know me know I have an alarm set at 10 a.m. every day. It goes off. If I'm driving, I click it off real quick. And in my head, I say a prayer for Corey, because so often I pray for other people around me, or, somebody may say, hey, can you pray with me for this? But I wasn't praying for one of the closest people to me on a consistent basis. And he is a Black man in America, and I want him to come home. And I've been there when he's had experience with being pulled over for driving while Black and all kinds of things. And just his health in general. Like, you'll pray for other stuff. Why not pray for the person you love if you believe in prayer? My alarm went off. The prayer that I said, and this taught me about myself too, what I thought I knew about myself. I am a person that was raised to always have faith, always believe the impossible. So my prayer, as I was struggling to breathe on the Peloton, I'm like, God, thank you for Corey. Thank you for his life. Thank you for this. Let him come home safely. And then I say out loud, he wants to buy a house. Let him not lose hope that we're going to be able to buy a house, Lord. I know that I have faith. I know that I have faith. Let him have my level of faith that we're going to get this house and everything is going to work out. Jesus' name, amen. Boom, 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 riding. I don't know what made me in the middle of riding. I used to have a bookcase in my kitchen, and it held all my snacks, all my waters, real nice and neat. I reach over, grab my phone, and text my 2 friends and say, hey, I'm going to go on Lending Tree after I get off this bike and see what pre-approvals we can come up with. My friend, who has not mentioned in a year and a half about her husband being a realtor, said, hey, do you want me to put you and Matt and Corey in a group chat? And I immediately text back after saying a prayer, I hope Corey has as much faith as I have. I started texting. I literally said, no, we're not ready for that. What did you just pray? And I deleted it and said, yes. I said yes. Within 10 minutes, hey, Taria, this is Matt. Amanda let me know that shout out to Amanda. Amanda let me know that you guys are interested in the house. We're going to get the process going. Let's set up a time to talk house tomorrow at 3 p.m. That was on a Saturday. I immediately I'm sorry. He was like, how about later today? And I was like, okay, sure. But I think Corey will be at work. He was like, no problem. We'll still talk later. I'm going to email you some questions. I was like, oh my God. Mind you, I had just said this prayer that I had a lot of faith. He emails me. I answer the questions. He calls me. He said the first piece of advice, he said, what do you want in the house? I named all these things. He said, now throw it out the window. He said, what's your price bracket? He said, let's add a little bit extra because you may miss out on something that may be just a little bit more, like take all these restrictions off. I said, okay. He said, I'm going to put you in contact with a loan officer. I'm like, oh my God, that happens. This is all in the day that I text. The very next day, loan officer was supposed to call us at 3. Me and Corey are home. He doesn't call. I was like, Corey, it must not be meant to be. The person that had so much faith. He was like, well, send him a message. I sent him a message. He calls. Oh, I'm so sorry. My son had a soccer game. I completely forgot. Can we get on in an hour? Got on, got the pre-approval on a weekend that day, that Saturday, pre-approved. That Sunday, We just happened to go somewhere and we drive past this subdivision and we're like, oh, that's cool. Let's look at this house for sale sign. We just looking around, didn't do anything. The following Monday, we got the actual approval. I went online, looked up. I did what he said, opened up my price range. I wanted a townhouse. Corey wanted a house. He said, the only way I want a townhouse is if it feels like a house when you walk in. Cool, no problem. I sit at my computer and it was the laptop. And then I said, well, let me sit at his desktop. I'm sitting at his desktop. He comes home and I'm looking at the house we're in now and I'm scrolling. He's like, wait, go back to that picture. Oh, I like that. Where is it? Not recognizing that it was in the same zip code where we are. Me and Sky right over here. These were the townhouses that they were building because they were only 8 years old when we moved in. We literally rode through here in our cars when it was just wood, when they were building. And we were like, wow, and we could see some of them were done. So I text my realtor and say, hey, we're interested in this house. Cool, let me send the numbers over to the loan officer. Y'all, this is 3 days later now. Loan officer says, yep, they work. He calls me and says, I just want to let you know, there's not a really good chance that you're going to get this house because there's a lot of people interested. Because when I clicked on it, 341 people had hearted it. He said, this is a seller's market. I said, okay. And I hung up and I said, God, he doesn't realize it's a Corey and Taria market. If it's for us, it's not going to be a struggle. We go look at the house. Then we look at another house on the next block, 2 more houses. Mind you, this is that Tuesday. We say we want the first house. And I woke up 3:00 Wednesday morning with a text, you got it. So that was from that Friday to that Tuesday. So going back to the having faith, and you have to believe in what you want to manifest. We talk about manifestation.
Okay, Amanda.
I'm with Amanda. If you're willing to pay if y'all pay me $2,000, I will teach you how to breathe like you're going to get the house that you want.
You basically just were talking about manifestation, prayer and all of that. That's manifestation.
That's manifestation. But when you think about, sometimes you wonder, you can't work against it. I was getting ready to work against myself. An opportunity, as soon as I said, I'm going to do this, and my friend says, hey, let me hook you up with I say, I'm not ready. How are you not ready for what you just asked for? So keep that in mind, y'all. When you ask for it, are you ready for it? So I just wanted to share that with y'all because when I think back now all the bills that come with it, I'm like, Lord, wait a minute. But you brought us to it. You're going to take us through it. But no, but I love my house and I wouldn't change anything. So just keep the faith. Like Empire said, things will be restored, even in your own life. Yep. Keep the faith. Even when you can't see it, there's always something happening in the spiritual world. If you're believing, and faith without works is dead, do all the work you can. And then at some point, you just have to trust that the rest is going to work out.
Yeah, you also got to speak into it.
Come on, say it again.
You got to speak into it. You got to, it's very much like what you were saying. You need to every day wake up and have your affirmations of, and it could be about whatever you're trying to create. It can also be about the world.
Yes.
That you want to, like, because we all experience the world very differently.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
We do. All right. So I'm going to, by the end of the week, Kempire will have sent me my iPhone 17 Pro Max, the white one with the 500 and some gigabytes.
Let's see if that manifestation works.
I got to say it every day. Y'all, that would be crazy. So what I need y'all to do is every single one of y'all because he might not send it to me. I was going to say, send him a donation and say, this is for Taria's phone, but just send it to me. Cash App Taria S. Faison. My birthday was Saturday. It's not too late. Taria
Happy belated birthday. Shout out to all the Aries.
Shout out to all the Aries. 49. My daughter said I was 40 fine. I said, I like that. 40 fine. 49 and 40 fine.
50 next year.
I know. You know what I told Corey? Laying in bed, because this weekend reset my nervous system. Having my mom, my daughter, they surprised me with having my youngest come home. I didn't think I was going to see her till May, her graduation. I wanted her to come home. She came home. My son was here. It really reset my nervous system. And I was laying in bed Sunday morning and I just told him, thank you. Everything was perfect. And I said, just so you know, next year when I turn 50, and I said, hold up, I'm living in my 49. I'm not going to think about it. I'm living in my 49. When 50 comes, prayerfully, I'll see 50. It'll be here. But right now I'm living in 49.
Yep.
So
can't be thinking about tomorrow.
Right.
You got today.
My grandmom used to tell me, don't borrow trouble. Because I'd be like, oh my God, this is going to happen. I got to take care of this. And she would say, don't borrow trouble.
Mm.
And I was like, you're right about that. So thank you, Kempire, for coming on.
Thank you
I
for
will
having me.
not say let everybody know where they can find you because you're Kempire. They know where to find you.
Period.
Period. You are a one name. So period. And you look good too, but don't let it go to your head.
Too late. That's my Leo moon.
So I thought we were living in the age of Aries, or is that just me?
No, it's Age of Aquarius. That's just you.
That's just an Aries thought, right? Always living in the age of Aries.
In your own little bubble.
Well, I will say you're welcome, Aquarius, because if there were no us, there'd be no y'all. And on that note, because we are the first sign, on that note, shout out to all my Aries babies, even y'all March ones. I love y'all down. Kempire and I will talk to y'all later. See you guys.